Hello, welcome to The Late Show with your host, me, and my guest. You can't see me pointing there. Yes, I have got you right way round. I point that way and I point at you, it's fine. Oh, okay. Well, hello everyone, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well on this fine, fantastic Sunday. Happy New Year. You can't hear Kat? What? Oh no. Wait. Where's my stuff? Why? Fixer? Oh, now they can. Say hello, Kat.
Hello?
Now,
Hello?
yeah, you're being picked up. I can hear myself.
Okay, good.
Oh dear. Well, look, we're back. We're fixed. Look, I forgot to unmute Kat on my end.
I see the issue.
My audio mixer.
That's
It's not just a bad shit show, it's a fancy show. It's got bits of sparkle everywhere.
We got suited up for this rubbish, so be impressed.
I know. I bought a whole new tie just for this. No, I just wanted a new tie.
Yeah, I don't really vibe with ties. I should. Maybe one day.
Well, I've always had to wear ties, so that's why.
Yeah.
And I like the colours. This is my college tie, which is maroon and pink.
Nice.
Which I think works quite well.
Yeah, I just went for Riddler vibes. That's the goal. It's the whole vibe. It's purple and green. Which cat is mirror cat?
Because your Instagram will be mirrored. Because your phone takes, if you did a selfie, it flips the view.
Yeah, but I'm now looking at your stream and I'm different to how I am on Zoom.
Yeah, no, because Zoom flips it on your end, but what I see is the actual view.
Okay.
It's so when you lift up your right hand, you see it on your right, but I see your left go up.
Okay.
But I've thought a lot about how Zoom does this. Okay. I spent far too much time. Anyway, welcome. Kat, what is your interesting drink? Which is
thank
what I was
God.
going to ask before we got distracted.
I need a drink. So can I do this without showing the label? I can. So this is my interesting drink. Those of you that are gin fanatics will.
Oh, I do know this. Yes.
Yeah. But it's more of a demonstration than not. So if I pour this right, that is a lot of gin. Oh well, that is very clearly blue.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But when I add mixer, and I've been assured that lemonade works for this, so I don't need to drink tonic. I get all fancy with my pouring skills, get it on camera. When I pour that in, you should get a colour change.
Yeah. Well, it looks purple, pink.
Yeah, it's supposed to go pinky.
I think it went pinky.
Tonic.
I think camera color.
I'm drinking tonic. I don't like it.
I think you need the right tonic. You can either get like.
Well, I've got co-op zone.
That was loud.
Yeah, sorry.
I can see pink.
Yeah, it's because it's in front of me, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely pinker.
Yeah, but yeah, color changing gin this is my interesting drink.
It's very interesting.
Changing with pH. Yeah, I think so. It's like I have no idea what does it, but you get it with tea as well. So the blue tea I drink is
blue tea.
It will color change it if I put lemon in it, but I don't like lemon, so I won't.
I mean, you shouldn't add lemon to tea anyway, so that's fine. Are there ground rules? I don't think there are ground rules. I guess there are, which is if you the structure, if you can't remember because it's been over 100 days since the last one, because I keep getting a notification of back up your Mac because that was the last time. So the first hour of this show.
Nice.
Oh, thank you, Tony M. Parker. Oh, and Nemo for resubbing for 2 months. Fantastic. Very well.
Wow.
There we go. I was like, where was
Wow.
the resub?
Siamo i 21 stealth, siamo i 21 stealth.
Violets. Cap, I will drink with tonic. If I'm drinking others, I won't. But if you say drink with tonic, I'll drink with tonic.
So the first section is our interesting drinks, which we'll further talk about more. But the next section is, for the next hour, will be for talk about Kat's own educational journey from young primary school cat to modern day PhD Twitch cat. And then after that, we'll have a short break where then we'll open the floor up to Twitch chat, where you can use your Q&A points redeemed to ask us all questions. So you can do that during the live thing, but we won't answer them then. We'll just answer them later. When the person Tony M. Parker subbed, I was like, is it Matt Parker? It's not Matt Parker. I wish it was Matt Parker. If he was here, I'd be very happy.
That would be fun. But also, we're glad you're here, Tony.
You could say this is going to be the journey from kitten to cat.
I hate that so much. Why? Oh, it's also that you didn't hear it, but
I can't hear it, but I've got your chat up.
Imagine an Australian saying that.
Okay, as long as it's not so like funny, hilarious. One of my exes used to call me that, so I really like this is it's a weird time.
Yeah.
It was intentionally.
I mean, intentionally bad jokes like that always good.
No, don't worry, some fish. Don't worry.
It happens.
We're just entertaining.
Well, to change subject, my interesting drink is this, which I don't know if you can see, is Case Fine Grapefruit and Pomelo. Whatever pomelo is, who knows? We think it's a citrus. And grapefruit, it's grapefruit and gin. Great things with some tonic. This is it, in a beer glass, don't judge.
Why do you not have 7 gin glasses in your house, Samwise?
Because
Get on my
they're at
level.
home. I literally own 2, but they're at home. I don't know why I didn't bring them. I should bring them. They were a birthday present, I think, from my sister.
Nice.
They're really nice. They're like modern type glasses. So they look a bit funky.
Right.
Is the music loud? Is audio levels good? I can always increase cat if not. That's the other thing to quickly check. We don't have a sound team, so you know. Oh, if only we did.
I can only hear us, so I will be of no help throughout this.
At least it isn't a mug. It's fine. Yeah, I know. We're past the mug days. But we're low on the low side in version. I'm peaking almost. I think cat's okay. I'll turn cat.
Louder.
I'll turn cat up slightly.
To be fair, I would never drink gin out of a mug, but wine, if anything, I prefer a mug.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like that's the right drink.
mood.
Like, wine glasses in a restaurant, obviously, I'm not going to ask for a mug, but if I'm drinking at home...
You really should. You should go to a high restaurant and say, oh yes, I would like the Sauvignon Blanc from 1990 and a mug. It's fine reaction.
Maybe more like red. I think it's because like mulled wine is my favorite wine, and then everything else is just.
I feel like.
Mulled wine.
Oh, Kat is now hosting. I guess that was.
Hey!
What do you call it? Captain
Go
Reed
me.
did that. I think. I guess.
Turns out my moderators are competent.
Oh.
I'm glad someone on the team is.
Well, you've got one mod here, so. Oh, that was Thomas. Oh wow.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, he said you're welcome. There we go.
I appreciate.
We all appreciate that. What was I going to say? I don't know.
Mulled wine.
Oh,
mugs.
hot drinks, mugs. Any alcoholic drink. Mug, always good. But apparently you want like thin glasses for like wine because if you have it like not thin.
Thick.
Yeah, that's the word. It takes away the flavour, so you want thin.
Interesting.
Apparently, I don't know. I don't own different types of wine glasses, so.
Yeah. I know you don't hold white, like you would hold white wine by the stem so you don't warm it up.
Yeah.
But red wine is fine to.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, no, it was Simon who told me this, but with beer. When I gate crashed his dinner with the Physics Society at Cambridge, which he invited me to.
Okay.
So he got a beer, and it came in a really big beer glass, and that's to keep it cool for longer.
Makes sense.
There we go. I think we've broken ice. I think this is fine. I don't have ice anyway, because you would not put ice in. It feels wrong.
It's not too bad with ice.
Yeah, I guess it's like whiskey. You don't want to put ice in because it dilutes the whiskey.
Yeah. You have like a drop of water at most.
I mean, I got to be Simon's +1 to the fact that we didn't know what was going on. We were just following them, and we ended up at a restaurant. And they were like, well, I guess I'm here. And I already eaten dinner. So I was like, I guess I'll get a starter as my main. And, I mean, which you can do. They just gave me a slightly larger starter.
You just sat there eating garlic bread.
No, I had scallops. It was very nice.
Nice dinners in Cambridge.
It was a place called Brown's, which is related to this tie because it used to be the old Adam Brooks Hospital, which was founded by St. Catherine's College. So when you're walking into the restaurant, which has a great bar, it says outpatients, which I think is quite funny.
It's what you're like after the food, I hope.
You wouldn't want that after your food. That'd be a bad...
Well, it's better than being an inpatient after your food.
Just have a lock-in. Not allowed to leave until you've eaten the pantry of all its...
Oh, God.
Stuff. Kat is looking up Browns, I think. Anyway, we're 15 minutes into this. I guess we can start. The main thing. I don't know. Welcome. Thank you for being my guest. You're going to be my guest next week, but you're my guest this week. So
that's fine. That's fine.
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Feels weird because we've been talking for like 40 minutes. But
yes, definitely. Oh yeah, it has been literally 45 minutes. Yeah. So, I never know what to say. Maths. That's what you do. Rewind many years to primary school. Because we're going that far back. I mean, we could go kindergarten, but I don't think there was much maths back then.
I don't think I went to kindergarten. I think primary school is.
I mean, do you not do anything like before reception? That's sort of what I'm thinking.
No, I did. I went to a nursery.
I guess that's what we actually call it here, not kindergarten.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was in nursery from like 6 months. Like my mum went back to work very quickly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no.
Yeah, look, I
have
American family, okay. All my memory of nursery is being bitten by a guinea pig, or as I called it, a piggy pig. I stuck my finger in a cage. I learned from a young age. Do you not do that?
You get what you get then.
Yeah. I also painted the Queen. I misplaced where her eyes were, and I didn't understand what paint was. So I just painted some more eyes below the other eyes. So I've got this very poorly drawn picture of the Queen, but with 4 eyes. I found it like a few years ago, and it's terrifying.
Kids aren't known for their
kids are not known for their artistic prowess. But yeah, I guess I could say, like, when did your first enjoyment of? Did you always enjoy maths growing up, or?
I would say so. It wasn't so much maths when I was younger. It was problem solving. So I have lots of fond memories. Maybe not necessarily in school, but when I was in the junior school age, so 5 to 7, of doing puzzles and puzzle books and playing puzzle games and all that sort of stuff. So it's I've always liked a challenge, I would say. And then maths is the obvious choice from there.
Okay. Yeah, I get. Why not science then? If like, because you had problem
Yeah,
skills and
so
solving and stuff in that then.
like if you're keeping it as within the school age, I think in order of like career prospects, I wanted to be a cleaner. Sorry, your screen just went weird.
I know.
like-
I opened a link Kat put in chat because I thought it was on my other monitor. It did not go on my other monitor.
Nice.
Ignore that.
Yeah, so like my earliest memory of what I wanted to be when I was older was a cleaner, and I would like follow the janitor around the school and
Okay.
like help. But then from there it was like a mix of scientist, archaeologist, like any sort of ist that did
Yeah, I think
like
I was.
lab coat was the vibe.
Yeah, I think I had sort of the same ideas as well. Though I think it was always astronomy with me. I always enjoyed that.
Oh, nice.
And
No, there was a very large period of my life where I was like really into Egyptology.
I was the same as well. Like I loved Egypt as well because like growing up near the British Museum, we would go. I think there was a bit when we almost went every Friday. We literally just went to the British Museum because it's free to go to, and it was just a thing
nice.
to do. And I don't know, mummies were cool when I was growing up as well.
Yeah, it was spooky.
Oh, I was terrified of them as well. I just thought they would come up alive at night, and that's why you had security guards. You know,
I watched
completely
Night at the Museum too many times.
This was before Night at the Museum. I
God.
like to think I knew what I was getting. I can't speak. I had artistic ideas. I don't know.
Not copying anyone.
No. So like, did you get to do like any sort of inspiring things in primary school, like trips or maths things like that, or?
Yeah, so there was nothing like aggressively on the maths side of school trips, but there was a lot of like I think I was talking to someone the other day about it. In our year 6, so end of primary school, we went on a school trip to a farm for a week. That's like, it was a very good trip.
Yeah.
It was great fun. But that was sort of more the vibe with the school trips at that age. There were a few times I went and performed in the Eisteddfod, just to casually drop that one in there. For those that don't know, the Eisteddfod is a national competition held in Wales every year that historically dictates the naming of the bard. So picture classic D&D bard, but then mix it with old Celtic druidism. And that is legitimately what it is. So it's this massive epic festival, all celebrating Welsh culture, Welsh history, Welsh language. And when I was in primary school, I have this very strong memory of competing. I must have been about 7, 8. But I had to recite a poem in Welsh. And I'm not fluent in Welsh. I'm not first language by any means. So we had to like learn the poem as a second language, and then we got told the translation and which bits we should be emphasizing and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I competed, and I don't think I placed, but it was still like a really
it's still cool
big
to do.
thing. So that was great fun. I got through the rounds to get to the
you got there
itself.
in the end.
So that's quite like a fun fact from primary school. It's like
I'm trying to think, did I do anything like that? I don't know. I don't think any competition. I mean, just my primary school was the darkest timeline of my life, so not many other positive things happened then. Though I would call it character building.
that is the technical term, I believe.
Yes.
Any rough hardships in your youth, they strengthen your character.
Yeah, it either goes up or completely down. I was lucky I had good friends that were supportive. But secondary school was where it all went well for me. Sort of.
Good.
And that's where I learned, actually, I think I preferred maths over science. I don't think I really ever enjoyed science, but I think I always enjoyed maths a bit better. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's quite common. I don't know if it was like well, you do maths, so I guess it's more biased.
It won out for me.
Yeah. No,
And
but
I think
yeah.
it depends on your teacher for sure.
Yeah.
Because there were definitely years where like science, so I don't know how you had it, but when we did science, it was years 7 through 9 were generic science.
Yeah, no, that was the same for us as well.
Yeah, 10 and 11 specialized. So I really, really loved my maths teachers basically the whole way through, but my science teachers were a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Shall we say? I don't think they liked me, is how I'm going to put it.
Yeah, I think I had exactly the same with the same response. I just don't think they liked me. Maths. My first maths teacher was an Italian Scotsman. I think he was I think he was Italian. He was definitely Scottish. Though for a very long time, I used to think Italian people had Scottish accents. Or I just thought he had an Italian accent, completely forgetting it was actually a Scottish accent. I was very confused. But he was a great maths teacher. He was like really supportive, and just a bit more interesting than science teachers.
Yeah, I think especially when you're doing like key state like 7, 8, 9 as well was when I was like I really like STEM. I think was the fair game. Like I was convinced at one point I was going to go into do like DT for GCSE because I was like really enjoying the practical side of things.
Yeah.
But in science, the experiments that we were doing weren't based in knowledge. They were all about teaching the scientific method. So it was stuff like how long does sugar take to dissolve in a cup of tea, or these experiments that like kind of loosely touch on science. But
did you have an experiment which was you have a white can and a black can and you fill it up with hot water and you have to basically work out which can cools quicker?
Yeah.
And I remember the whole point of it was because people would think the white can cooled quicker because it was white and white's colder, and the black can would take longer. But everyone saw the black can got cooled quicker, and so falsified all their work. Like the whole class, each of their individual groups, all falsified their stuff. It was and I'm like, I don't know. It really threw me that happened.
I can imagine it now from the teacher's perspective of just like all of these kids disproving a fundamental fact, and you're like, well.
I think it's because we all believed that's what happened, but then it didn't.
Oh yeah. But maybe that's why they were trying to teach us the scientific method so that we wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I got so bored with the write-ups of like, this is what we're going to do. We do it for like 20 minutes in a class, and then this is what we did, and this is why we did what we did. And I got really, I just lost my like love of science.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because like I used to go to like physics club after school, and I competed in the chemistry Olympiad throughout my whole secondary school career. And that bit where like I got glimpses of what science could be, that was great. But my maths classes were like consistently enjoyable and interesting and engaging for me, whereas I think science kind of lost out there. And once I hit GCSE, Cap, stop calling me a nerd.
No, I mean,
once I got to GCSE and I got to do like my actual like chemistry, physics, biology, then I got to like learn stuff, and it was interesting and engaging. But I wouldn't say I had like one specific favorite over the others. Interestingly, biology was my best.
Same. Biology was my best, and physics
it's the one I didn't take forward.
Yeah, same. I despise biology. I hate it so much, and yet it was the one I was best at, and I was worse at physics, but I loved physics.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I had like great passion. So when I picked my GCSEs, I did triple science, French, geography, history, and I took Latin as an after-school one.
That was terrifying because you almost picked every single one that I did, which was triple science, French, history. I did geography, and then we had to do RE.
So it's not about art. I mean,
I guess RE, Latin.
I had to do a civ course in it, so I'm like, that's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And when I don't know when you did. So when you do Latin, we followed the Cambridge course after school, and the sections of language that we would translate was all about like Greek gods
Okay.
for some reason. So it was about Zeus
Well,
and
I
him
guess
like eating his kids.
I guess the
and, like,
Greeks basically copied everything the Greeks did. So
yeah. So I'm like, that's kind of Ari, just ancient Ari.
yeah.
But yeah, I fully had the intention of doing like following through archaeology. So
Yeah.
history and geography were really big. But in GCSE years when I kind of fell out of love with history.
Yeah.
And that was partially because of, again, like there are different teaching styles.
Yeah.
Some of them are good and some of them aren't.
Yeah.
No, but it depends who you have and if you get on with them and if you mix with how they teach. And I just didn't get on with
I found
history.
people in your classes as well, like
yeah. So
was...
that was when I kind of fully was like, well, I'm going to follow through on like the STEM side of things for A level. So I just kind of stepped away from humanities at that point. But I remember telling my English teacher that I wasn't going to follow English forward, and she cried.
Oh, no.
It was really sweet. I was, not to further Kappan Inversion's bullying of me, but I was a proper nerd. So on top of doing the science extracurricular, I was also lead of our BBC school report, which was this like after school club thing.
I can imagine what it is.
Yeah.
So BBC every year did you do you were on the were you on the BBC presenting about your school?
Yeah. But we did a full news production. So one year we interviewed Bonnie Tyler. I personally did a sit down interview with Dan Bigger, who played for the Ospreys and the Wales rugby team. We did what else? We went to the Senedd, the Welsh government, back when it was the Senedd, and we did an interview there. They brought in loads of schools, and they had like a what is it called when they have the politicians and then they're in a panel and we get to ask them questions as reporters?
A conference.
Press
conference.
Yeah, that thing. But we did that. So I really liked that sort of thing, and that kind of went nicely with archaeology and like investigative journalism and all that sort of stuff. Which is ironic now because I can't write to save my life.
I can never write, so that was definitely not for me. I remember reading some like year 7 end of year exams that I wrote on a computer, and I was just like, this is not English. I feel so sorry for all my teachers who had to give me leniency because I couldn't write. I was like, I mean, I've somehow got, I think, 90% in one of the papers, but
nice.
If they did not have this, they would have been like, yeah, you can't do anything. It was just because they were forced to like read every bit very carefully. Oh, I cannot write.
Yeah. I find it weird being at an age with teachers now because I'm like, I empathize so much more.
Yeah.
What they have to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned A level, so let me guess your A levels, which were maths, further maths.
So I did 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the third would have been. Was it science?
It was a science.
What does that mean?
Well, it's one of them.
Chemistry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for A levels, so my comprehensive only went up to GCSE.
Yeah.
So we had the option of going to like the rival school or going to a college. So back in ye olden days, it was a tech college that then merged with all the other tech colleges in the area, and they became like a big corporation of colleges. I don't know. But I ended up going there. So for when I started, I picked my ASs as maths, further maths, chemistry, physics, and biology, with the intention of dropping one like for AS and then dropping another for A level.
Yeah.
I think I loosely had it in my head that I could do all 5 and no one would question it, and then I tried and it was a
I did maths, physics, chemistry, and religious studies, which was philosophy, ethics, and philosophy of religion.
Very cool.
I carried all 4 to A levels, A2. Chemistry was by far the hardest thing I've ever done.
See, I miss chemistry
I
sometimes.
miss chemistry. I
Sometimes
loved
I'm like,
it.
I could have been in a lab right now with a friggin' lab coat and goggles on, having a great time.
Yeah.
To the point, like, one of my lecturers used to call me Professor Katie because I was really good at titrations. Like, that is my claim to fame. I was incredible at titrations.
Were you good at back
Forget
titrations?
maths.
Back titrations were... I got to such a point where I learned that specific one so well, I couldn't remember how to do real titrations. Or at least the calculations for them. So I was like, why can I do the harder one, but not the original? Oh, it was...
Yeah. But yeah, A-levels were a weird time for me. Because I kind of, as I said, I went in with the intention of doing like 5 and everything was going to be great. And I lost my father in my AS year, so the December of my year, so like midway through. And that really like put a spanner in the works.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to bring the mood down for like 5 minutes and then I'll bring it back up, I promise.
It's fine. It's what this is all about.
Yeah, so I kind of went a bit off the rails. I decided to keep going with the year because I was partway through, and the thought of kind of not doing anything for a year wasn't for me. Like, if I took time off, I would have been thinking. So I ended up continuing on, but I was in a bad place and I messed around and I kind of stopped going to lectures and grades started slipping. And my chemistry lecturer rang my mother, which, like, in college, you're much closer to university, right, than school. They don't offer as much pastoral care. It's very hands-off. Like, I had a very good view of what university was going to be like from going to this college, because it was something like 1,000 of us in a year in the one location. Like, it was huge. But my chemistry lecturer, having seen my change in like attitude, rang my mother and was like, "What's your daughter doing?" And after that point, I had someone to talk to at college, and I started going back and making more of an effort. Physics can get in the bin. The physics A level was just gone. That was not.
I mean, to be honest, if I could have gotten out with not doing physics A level, I would have done it as well. I hated physics A level.
I remember. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, it just was. I mean, I love the they're not like the teachers. I love them. They were great. But it's just such a boring course.
It was one of those ones that I feel like it had the same issue as like the science up, like Key Stage 3 science, where you're not teaching me anything, you're just making me go through the motions.
I feel like out of all the A levels, it was the most like not A level. Bits of it were hard, but it's just there weren't any practicals that you did in like chemistry or biology. There was nothing there that sort of made you feel. I'm a adult or something, because maths was harder. You didn't get the same maths level in physics. You didn't have the same A level or practicals as biology or chemistry. And
it felt a bit weird doing maths and further maths and then physics as well, I think, because in physics, like further maths, we were doing, M2, M, like mechanics at quite a high level, and then you go into your physics class straight afterwards and they're like, draw a straight line.
What's a derivative? Who knows?
And it just felt very like disconnected. That, and when I applied to the college, I had to go through and like fill in all the forms and stuff, and I got told like, what are you doing, what are your courses? And I was like, I'm picking 5, deciding between them, gonna drop one. And they were like, how serious are you about physics? And I was talking to, I think, a geology lecturer that was there.
Okay.
And I was like, physics and maths goes well together. And he was like, if you're serious about physics, go somewhere else, because the quality specifically here is not great. Which it was true. But I am so glad I chose chemistry, partially because the lecturers were incredible. Like, I am one of these people that I need a supportive environment, and that feels very odd to say, because I feel like everyone needs a supportive environment, but sometimes you need to ask for it a bit more. So having the lecturers, like, knowing that they had my back was incredible. But in my second year, the chemistry department had a big budget, so we went to CERN on a school trip.
I still don't get why you got to go to CERN and doing chemistry.
Which was my favorite thing ever. It was an incredible trip, incredible experience. Highly recommend anyone.
CERN is anyone should go to CERN. It's great. Amazing.
But my favourite part was the chemistry lecturers picked the week of the physics practical exams.
Oh.
So none of the physics department could go.
Oh,
So it
that's
was
hilarious.
chemistry and maths that went.
Mm.
It was a highly entertaining trip because the staff that were showing us around were asking the kids,
So I've still got
"Oh, cool!
my CERN visitor thing with my CERN lanyard, which I love.
Oh, nice. I have a t-shirt that doesn't fit me anymore, so I'm not even gonna dare put it on, and a bag somewhere. I got one of the like, what are they called?
Satchels. Tote.
The shoulder bag that you put your shopping in.
Tote bag.
Tote bag, thank you. Yeah.
I said that before.
Oh, I don't know. I think I was still thinking too hard.
Yeah, in Persia you just put tote bag.
I'm glad you guys know what I'm on about, because I don't. But yeah, that was incredible. That was a really, really interesting trip. But yeah, they were asking us like, do you guys want to be physicists? And we were all there like, no.
Chemists. They're like
chemists. I think we had a few biologists. There were the core maths lecturers that were like, oh, we do mechanicsy stuff. Kind of the same.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it is called this, what or used to be called the Centre European Nuclear Research. So I guess it's sort of a part of chemistry, at least when it started. But
yeah, I mean, just it was still important, and it was kind of interesting hearing a chemist's perspective of the situation and everything. So that was fun, and we did visit observatory on that trip as well, and like a museum. But I think there was like this big observatory that had a like holographic projector on the ceiling to like show where the planets were and everything.
A planetary.
Yeah, so like it was quite a physicsy trip.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, my A-levels were an interesting time for me overall.
Yeah, no, I know how it sort of. I didn't have exactly what happened, but I also had another issue.
Yeah.
Happen, and I was quite close with the college, not college. Well, we called it the college, but the school's chaplain, and I remember breaking down in front of him and having someone there. It's just nice when you know you have like someone to support you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I did school plays, and then almost kill a student, but we don't talk about that.
Was it an actor getting on your nerves, or
no? It wasn't actually me. It was someone fired a gun in a prop gun, which was I think a real gun in a confined space, and I was in a soundproof room, and he still fired the gun, and we heard it. And I won't repeat what the teacher said because it started with an S, then it had an F, and then it had ended with a C.
Yeah, I think that's allowed.
It really was. Allowed, but and then he got that student then got kicked out of the play and then sort of crawled back pleading to come back in, and he did. But I just remember just wondering what was going on, this explosion beside me. I also lost a tooth that day, or not that day, but I think close to that week.
Cause and effect, or
no, a few years before that I ran into a metal pole and chipped part of my tooth off.
Ooh.
And I had like a temporary tooth put in, and then I was messing around with some friends, and we threw batteries at each other as you do, and then he threw a battery a bit hard and hit exactly where my tooth was, and a bit fell out, and then I was having soup that day, and it broke.
Okay.
That's what happens when you do plays. Random stuff happens.
Yeah. So I did.
It was not good soup. It was great soup, but bad soup.
Not with the tuff in it, Cap.
No, I remember the dentist though. She was like, "Oh, why would you call me when we were there?" It's like, surely just could have waited. And then after like the operation, she was like, "It's actually really good you called me because we should do that straight away." And I'm like, "You weren't the person this happened to."
Yeah, yeah. I did musical theatre after school for most of like primary through secondary.
Okay.
We never had that happen.
Well,
It's nowhere near that bad.
we had a revolving stage. Tom Holland was at our school.
Oh yes,
I
yeah.
always bring up. Oh yeah, I mean
Casually.
I forget you actually have heard of my school because you know
Yeah.
someone
I have
who.
a friend there. He doesn't remember you. I'm sorry.
No,
but he was.
because I don't remember them. Like I don't.
I think he was head of your house for a bit, but I don't know.
think he might have been either in the year above my brother or the year below my brother. I can't remember.
One of
From
those.
what you said about like their year, because you're older than me.
Yes, I am. Thanks for reminding me.
I mean, Inversion's younger than all of us.
Inversion is a babby.
He is a
but
babby.
we still love him. It's okay.
It's okay. He's an acceptable one. He's okay. He's allowed to be born post 2000.
Yeah. Although usually we keep them around to like give us all the good memes from Gen Z, and Inversion is not.
No, we have Cap for that.
He's not post 2000.
Are you 2000?
Being 2000 is post 2000.
I'm okay. He is 2000, but yeah, I would. Yeah, what was it? 0. It goes from 0 to 9, then 10 to 19.
If it's literally after the millennium, like when it went from 1999 to 2000, that's post 2000. That's post the millennium, which was like that.
Unless you were born exactly on 00000. But yeah, but no one gets Gen Z memes. They're too abstract.
Me and Cap on TikTok trying to relive our youth. Oh dear. What were we talking about? A-levels.
A-levels.
Yeah.
Well,
so they prepped me with the intent of going to Oxford. Because I came through from GCSEs like on a high. Yeah. And they were like, right, shovel her in the room with all the other academically gifted kids with the doctors, medicine, Oxbridge, that jazz. Yeah. And then my A-levels did not go to plan. So Oxford interview was a mess. So I made it through to interview at Oxford, which was
not too bad.
Yeah, and I'm quite proud of it because I was the first person from my college to get an interview at Oxford for maths in 15 years.
Okay, wow.
Which is, it sounds impressive in and of its own, but my college was actually one of the best for sending to Oxbridge. So we had people go to Cambridge for maths, we've had people go to Oxford for other things, but the unofficial rumour is that one of our lecturers pissed off the Oxford admissions in maths. And that's why we never had anyone get through. Don't know whether that's true or not, but someone the year after me got in for maths. So whatever happened.
I mean, because it goes through college, it goes through collegiate rather than department. So
yeah.
What college did you look at? Or
Brasenose?
Colleges? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, that's
right by the camera.
Oh yeah, the Radcam. Yeah. I was like, wait, was this by the camera? I was very confused for a second.
No.
But no, it's the
Brasenose was.
Yeah, it's the Radcliffe camera.
I kind of picked randomly, but I had a friend from the same area from the opposite school with the exact same qualifications as me also go for it. So she got in, thankfully one of us did. But yeah, Oxford have rejected me twice so far, but we'll get to the second one later. But yeah, so I didn't get into Oxford. Interestingly, I put Bath as my first choice then.
Okay.
And Bristol as my second. Having not actually looked at Bristol at all, just like picking one of the good ones. So A-levels come back not awful. You know, in the grand scheme of A-levels, I got A-star A-B, which is pretty respectable. Unfortunately, the B was in further maths, not chemistry. So the reason for rejection from Bristol that I eventually got was I needed both of my strong, the A-star and the A, to be in maths. Yeah. But yeah, so Bath was out. Bristol took 2 weeks to get back to me because their requirement was 3 A's. So I'm like, UCAS points, that's the same, but
gosh, UCAS points. Oh, the pain.
Yeah. So I, like you, am clearing baby. Yeah. So I did the classic ring around. Everyone on the phones was really rude. I don't know if you felt this.
No,
But...
I had not too bad. I had neutral
Okay.
or very upset people because they were like, "Oh, you've got the UCAS points to go in, but because your maths is too low, we can't let you in." And I'm like, Actually, no, Southampton. Don't like Southampton. They said, "Oh,
they can fuck off. I tried there. Oh, absolutely get in the bin.
They were like,
So
"Oh, we'll
angry.
get back to you," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then I've never heard back. I'm still waiting till this day for their response.
That's so spooky. I had such a similar thing of like I rang them up and they were like, "Well, do you want in?" And I'm like, "Well, you're on my list of people, but like, yes, I would like in." And they were like, And then I got put on hold, and then they got back to me and they were like, "Well, we'll call you back, let you know if there's a space available." Then I was like, that was a shit show. And Southampton was like my Hail Mary, basically. My father went there, so like a lot of emotion was tied up in that place. And then on the phone they were such dicks. So I eventually get put through to, I call Cardiff, and I get on the phone and they were like, "Oh, what'd you get?" And I was like, "Oh, they were like, "What'd you get in maths?" And I was like, A*." And they were like, "You've got an A* in maths." I was like, "Yeah." 1 second.
This is exactly what happened to me, but I didn't get accepted. It was,
Oh.
what are your grades? And I was like, A, B, or BCCCC. And I like put this into my calculator. Oh, you've got all the UCAS. Oh, okay. What was your maths grade? And I'm like, C. And they're like, oh, so we can't take you. And I'm like, oh. But there was like a few minutes where there was just silence, where they were like finding someone to talk with because he didn't know what to do.
Oh god. Yeah. No, so Cardiff was incredible because they put me on hold, and I come back and this guy's on the phone, and it's like, usually I don't know whether you had it, but you were mostly talking to like students that were like doing it as a part-time volunteer.
Yeah, I know at my old uni it was all students, but I don't know if this was a student or a person.
Yeah, so Cardiff, they get me on the phone. Head of pastoral care, Jonathan Thompson, absolute fucking legend, gets on the phone with me, and he's like, "So you got it? What are your other grades?" And I was like, "B and A, but the B's in further maths," because everyone had asked me that. And he was like, "Well, that's enough to get in. Do you want a place?" And I was like, "Yeah. Can I, like, do you mind if I ring around all of my other things just to see like what we could do?" And he was like, "Honestly, you want a place, it's yours. We will wait for you. Like, we would love to have you." And like that phrase alone, "we would love to have you," is the first time I'd heard that, like the entire week-long thing of me ringing around and like waiting for Bristol and like not knowing if I needed to go through clearing. And just that, like, someone giving a shit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a feeling.
So I like called everyone else and I was like, "No, go away. I'm going to Cardiff." And I do not regret that choice whatsoever.
Oh, I wonder if I can find. Oh no, I didn't get an email. It was a letter. Because the thing that really annoyed me about Cardiff was, well, not annoying me, but
physics department, I don't care.
I got a reduced offer from them for my interview after talking about hanging students. Look, most of my interviews involved plays.
Okay.
And I talked about, oh yes, physics. We had this play. I wanted this final scene to happen, and we wanted to hang a student. And I said, so we looked at the physics of hanging people to not hang them, and the guy was just loving it. And so a few weeks later, I get a letter from them saying, "We have reduced your offer from this to this." So it was ABB, which is like, I think in the whole time I was there, everyone was offered AAA. So I was like given 2 grades below, and I was like, oh, I still didn't meet it. But yeah, I did like Cardiff. My cousin went there for chemistry.
Oh, cool. The chemistry building's pretty. The physics building is gorgeous. We had a few lectures there. I'm sorry to rub it. Maths building was a bit blocky and built in the 60s. But
I can't remember too much of Cardiff apart from liking Cardiff itself. And that's some other stuff.
No, the maths department, I have not a single bad word about the level of like pastoral care that I received.
Yeah, no, I feel like this is me, but with Royal Holloway physics. It was like they asked for my GCSEs. That's what really threw me. I was like, wait, give me a minute to think about what my GCSEs are. And then I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's my GCSEs. I'm like, okay, we can take you. And I'm like, oh, okay, you can confirm that you can take me. And they're like, yes, we
Yeah.
can take you. I'm like, oh, I almost like screamed. I
Yeah.
was so
It's
happy.
such a weird like experience going through
Oh,
clearing. Like
it's
I think people don't appreciate that you
oh,
have to ring these people up, and it's like going through every job interview I can ever have, but in the span of like a 5-minute phone call, and then you have to just do one after the other
yeah.
after the other.
I went through
Like
2
it's
phones and a landline, and the internet stopped working
yeah,
at my school, and I was like, what? Oh.
yeah,
The worst
but
thing
yeah.
was I woke up that day to one email, one from Surrey, which was my firm, and it's at 6 a.m. It's like, sorry, you did not meet the requirements. So I knew going into
Oh,
school something went wrong, and then
yeah.
UCAS track opened early, and Cardiff
Oh,
also
okay.
rejected me, and then I just remember going into school to get my grades, thinking, how bad has it been?
Yeah. So
Oh,
the thing for me was like I had the acceptance from Cardiff, and I think I rang like 6 unis in total.
yeah.
I had the acceptance from Cardiff, and I still hadn't heard back from Bristol.
Oh,
And I had like the head of my college on the phone with them. I had the head of maths. I had the head of like our Oxford admissions, like Oxbridge admissions. Like
yeah.
everyone was going to bat for me, being like, "Do you want to just let her know one way or the other?"
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
so I ended up. So I did my undergrad at Cardiff. I got onto the MMath, which was the 4-year
yeah.
integrated masters there.
Mhm.
And it was a great time. I was in Wales, and I miss Wales.
Oh, I guess we've been rambling on for a long time, and not even talked about university. So, how was your undergrad? Because I feel like I know lots about sort of the stuff leading up to the PhD, but not much about the undergrad itself, like except like what you did and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So with the MMath, the way that they did it while I was there was very early on. You had to pick between statistics and mechanics.
Okay.
So the BScs got to pick 2 out of 3 for stats, mechanics, and number theory. But if you were on the MMath, you had to do number theory. You had to do a certain amount of like
Yeah.
pure math stuff, which was fine for me because I really like number theory. Number theory is the sort of thing that if you look at a grant sat like a 3 blue 1 brown video or a map part, like there's always a lot of number theory
Yeah.
underneath this like fun maths. So that was great. From A level, I didn't really love stats, so it was an easy decision for me to just pick mechanics. That's not to say I was like really good at mechanics. It's just I didn't like stats, so that was the shift over. And interestingly, early on in the undergrad, I was convinced I was going to end up doing geometry or number theory. Like that was my jam. That was the fun bit for me. And then going into second year, I had a lecturer called Chris Davis, who was this, we were talking earlier about academics can wear whatever they want. He would rock up in like, I swear, like a 2-day-old t-shirt and jeans that didn't fit properly. Like he was so comfortable, just like, honestly, if he showed up in slippers one day, I would have believed it. He was having a great time, but he was incredible, and he taught me elementary fluid dynamics.
Okay.
And from that point onwards, I was hooked, basically.
Okay.
Like I still loved the pure maths side of things. Like I ended up taking like every number theory module I could, which because they were shuffling the degree around, I got to do 4 out over like 1 every year. But yeah, the fluid dynamics from that point on was like, this is the thing for me.
Yeah. Okay, that's. I don't know. I don't think I ever had anything like that because I went in on the astrophysics course, which basically meant I chose nothing. Everything was chosen for me. And I guess it was just more me sort of knowing I have to get through this course I hate, get through this course I hate, because I know eventually I'll get to the courses I want to do. We did have one strange lecturer who lectured in flip-flops and then slid out of the flip-flops and lectured with his bare feet. And
yeah, I can picture there's a lecturer in Bath that I can see doing that in the summer.
He
like I can just picture that very
mechanics. I didn't mind him. He was an interesting guy. And it's such a strange course. It was weird. Not just the course, but just the way it was taught was weird.
Yeah.
so strange. I don't think we ever did any fluids, which is strange.
You're
'Cause
missing out.
Yeah, no, because at Cambridge you do fluids. You do astro introduction to astrofluids or something. Which I still don't know
Yes.
what makes an astro fluid and not. Just feels like words to me.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
guess you guys don't have like actual fluid in space, but you have particles moving around.
Yeah,
appearing
so
to us.
like yeah, stars can be either considered like a plasma or some other stuff. It's like analogs and using the same equations to like solve the stuff, which I
Yeah.
find so weird.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's cool. Like there was definitely a decent amount of maths that I didn't enjoy,
Mhm.
but I had to do. So like
What-
analysis is not my
I've-
friend.
Yeah, I've heard many maths people say analysis. Is not, what is analysis? I just don't. It does.
So if you go to like introductory maths,
Mhm.
like start off in first year, you can break it down into like specialized applied bits. So
Yeah.
your statistics or your mechanics or your probability,
Mhm.
and those are your applied stuff. And then on the pure spectrum, you have you might see a little bit of geometry, but generally speaking, it's algebra and analysis.
Yeah. Mhm.
So algebra is the sort of manipulating equations in a way that you would expect.
Yeah.
So like number theory or
Mhm.
linear equations, linear algebra, like vectors, all that sort of stuff sits in algebra. Analysis is more looking at the behavior of things. So like sequences, series. There's a lot of like convergence. Like if you see a page from a paper and it's just loads of inequalities one after the other that eventually dilutes down to less than epsilon, that's analysis.
When you said less than epsilon, I just went.
There's a lot of epsilons.
It's I only like I don't have the lecture notes here, but it was called Further Mathematical Methods, and it was one of the theory academics teaching a course like a maths course, and
Okay.
I've never hated a course more than that. Just like it taught complex numbers, or two modules or two sections of complex numbers about singularities and stuff, and Cauchy stuff. I don't know. Cauchy appeared. Then it moved on to matrices, and then it ended with group theory and Lie algebra. And I just was like, I hate all of this. Why did I take this course? I do know why I took this course.
A good fundamental basis for a lot of stuff. But
that's why I thought it'd be useful and other things. And then I was so happy I took a geology course afterwards. I ordered it. It was literally just sitting down looking at pretty pictures. It was the best detox I've ever had. It was just, it's gone.
Amazing.
The 3 hours of maths is gone. It was in 3 hours as well. It was,
Oof.
like I could do 1 hour, but 3 hours of this was just, it was tough.
Yeah. So analysis is it's basically all of the like scary maths bits. Like if they want to put scary maths on a blackboard for like the background of a TV show, they probably put some analysis like convergent series on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my university prospects, I like did okay in first year. Christmas of second year, I got cocky because I did okay in first year, and then like they dropped. They dropped. And I've basically been on an upward trajectory ever since, is how I like to describe myself when I was doing PhD interviews. I was like, the grades aren't there yet, but they will be.
If you plot this on the graph, you can quickly see it's going up.
Yeah. But it didn't help as well because because I was on the MMath, right? So it's a master's. The way the weighting of each year was calculated was interesting. So first year didn't count for anything. First year was just like, check you're on the right course. Second year was 20%, third year was 30%, and final year was 50.
Okay.
So I think had I left with a BSc, I would have had a 2-2.
Okay.
Or like I might have scraped a 2-1. I'm not sure how
it's weird how it works out.
But because in the final year I got to do fluid dynamics, elasticity, algebraic geometry, and combinatorial and analytic number theory.
Just words there.
Applied maths, ridiculously pure
Yeah,
maths.
it sounded ridiculously pure. Maths is what.
It's my two favorite bits of maths is like number theory and fluid dynamics, and then some cool stuff adjacent to it. But yeah, because I got to, so it was 4 modules and a dissertation, and because I was doing the modules that I absolutely loved,
you did well.
I smashed it out of the park, mate.
Oh.
But yeah, so that basically we've realized that me and analysis don't get on, me and stats don't get on, but everything else is fun.
So is statistical analysis a thing?
I hope not.
Complex statistical analysis. That sounds like it would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
but yeah, no. So undergrad was, it progressively got better the more I could like pick my modules. And we were talking earlier about summer projects in between as well.
Oh yes, summer projects, which I wanted to talk more about those because they were great. They were amazing. Like did you have like a purpose for why you wanted to do summer projects? Did you do it because you wanted to go into a PhD and wanted to test the waters, or was it for other things?
So I did it in between my 3rd and 4th year, which meant that it was kind of a way to test out what master's project I wanted to do. But also, I was interested in potentially going on and doing research. So it's a really good way to be like, do I like research, or should I really be looking for a job right now? And the answer is never look for a job.
Never look for jobs. Yeah, I also agree with that statement.
So Cardiff have this body of funding, I think I'm getting this right, called CUROP, which is Cardiff University Open Research Projects.
Okay.
I think that's the acronym. But basically the university has a pot of money to allocate to different projects for summer placements, basically for students across all the different schools. Unfortunately, by the time that I went, I approached a lecturer so I think I approached like 3 lecturers about projects. It turns out they have to apply for the funding the year before the project happens.
Okay.
So this lecturer applies for funding, and then students apply to the lecturer rather than...
I get that.
Yeah. Luckily, one of the lecturers I applied to was the head of department. So he managed to wrangle some University of Maths funding for a certain number of summer projects.
Yeah.
So
I was in a similar thing as well. In that I went to the head of department with a glass of wine. I was like, can I work for you over the summer, please? And he was like, do you know coding? I'm like, I'm okay at it, but I want to get better. And he was like, sure, send me an email tomorrow. I emailed him in the morning. He said, can you get here in a few hours? And I'm like, sure. And I was like, pack my bag. I was living at home at the time, so I had to go from London to my uni.
Oh wow!
It wasn't far. It's a 40-minute train journey.
Okay, that's not.
But
not
it was just
bad.
like, okay, you're doing this now. Great. And then eventually, a few weeks in, he was like, oh, I can pay you for this. I'm like, you weren't gonna pay me? And he's like, it's just to see if you're doing enough work. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, there we go.
And then the next year, I did another one, and this with a different academic, but he was this person got moved from head of department to head of school. And
cool.
he was like, it's been 6 weeks, Sam, why are you still here? Or no, it's been 6 weeks, why are you still here? I'm like, because Glenn said he's paying me still. And he's like, where's he getting the money? And I'm like, he just said he's got money. And
I didn't ask.
Yeah. He's like,
yeah. I think I ended up working, they had money for like 5 weeks of funding, but I stayed for 7 because I'd already paid for the accommodation up there, and the way that rent worked out, I was like, well, I'm just having fun.
That's what
I think
I did.
The best advice to anyone thinking about research is doing a summer project.
Yeah, because it's not just because if you realize you do enjoy it, it's so much fun. Like what you get to do. I think it also helps in just with getting to know your department that you're in for hopefully another year, and I think it just helps with like the social side of it and things.
Oh, for sure, and it's a nice way to see like. Yeah, the PhD students. So they put me in an office with, I think there were 8 of us, and I was like hot desking. So basically, they weren't all in at the same time. So I would just take whoever's desk was available. but being in that environment and hanging out with the PhD students that had like previously been tutors to me, and then suddenly I was like in the room with them, and you know, I got to make friends through that. But also just see like what their research was like, because some of them were like writing up and submitting at that time. So I got a glimpse into the future. But yeah, it was good fun. So I ended up following that project through to my master's dissertation. And I actually nearly took it forward to PhD. There is a student at Cardiff currently continuing my work, and I'm a little bit territorial every time I think about it, because I'm like, that was my stuff.
Well, I found out someone continued my work, and they found me, and they're like, why did you code it in such a poor, like, why are all your variables like floor? Why is the ceiling called floor? And I'm like, because it was the same size, and I just did a copy and paste. It's like, it's so annoying, and I'm like, it works when I do it. And I was like, now I get why people don't like care about good variables, because someone else is going to use your code.
The worst one is when the other person using your code is you, but in 6 months, and you're like, I knew at the time. I was like, I'll remember what this means. I think my worst one was, so for the summer project, we were studying the heat equation. This might be nonsense for most people. We were studying the heat equation with this specific method of PDE solver, and then I moved to solving like Laplace's, which is like not a time stepping equation. And I just copied my stiffness matrix rather than making a new one, and that broke my code for about 8 months. So a large majority of my master's dissertation, like time, was me debugging. Like I think I wrote it up in about 3 months, and then about 5 months was it's not working. So my master's dissertation, this is not a brag, I should be ashamed. I am ashamed. I submitted with 10 minutes to spare.
I submitted with -1 minute to spare. So you can't beat me. Actually, no, sorry. I think I submitted with -15, because I was submitting with 0 seconds. But then it bugged out, and the portal wouldn't let me submit. So I was like,
how did you get away with that?
Because I ran to the person and was like, I literally have it in my hand. This is my thing. Here it is. I can't submit my thesis. And he was like, it's fine. It's all
I don't like that. That's so painful.
I just want to say, it might have been that, or it might have been for another module, which was 100% that bit of work. And then he was like, it's when I learned that it was like, deadlines, they're guidelines. At least
they proper told us. They were like, if you're late, it's a 0. This is 60%. I think it worked out to be like 34% of our final grade.
That was
for the whole degree. And they were like, if you're late, that's it.
Yeah, they said that to us. But then I learned it was the guy who wore the Peppa Pig shirt. He might even worn the Peppa Pig shirt that day. I think it was the Adventure Time shirt he wore. But no, he was like, because there's only 15 of us in the year.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
Yes.
Was that did you do your master's year as well?
That was in the master's year.
How many did you have before that?
30.
Okay.
So we went from 70 to 60, 50 to 30. No, that's not right. We started with about 70, went to 60 halfway through first year. Then we went to, I think, like maybe 55 in second year. Then to 30. I made the time, but it went from literally 60 to 30, and then 30 to 15. But the 30 to 15 was due to people going from BSc to masters. Not everyone wanted to go to masters.
So that makes sense. So I think in Cardiff, we had probably about 250 starting that ended up being 180 at the end of first year, and that stayed relatively constant until third year. And then in the master's year there were 18 of us, but only there were 15 of us, but only 10 doing the MMath, and then we had some M as well. But yeah, my perception of how the uni structure works, I assumed that most people did a BSc, and then only a small selection did the integrated masters, because that was what I experience in Cardiff, and then coming to Bath and tutoring the kids there, and it's like it doesn't, you don't get that drop off at masters.
Okay.
And I found it really interesting, so I was wondering if is that more common in Cardiff, is like a unique case, or is it Bath is a unique one, or like is it
I don't know.
a grading scale?
I don't know. Learning about admission stuff from the Peppa Pig academic. I learned a lot about just how weird stuff happens. Don't listen to parents is the other one. In that parents they think they know what their child wants, but sometimes they don't. It was like, oh, are you a Russell Group university? No. Oh, so you're not that good, are you? I'm like, no, we're pretty good. We're better than most Russell Group universities, but you're not. But how are you not a Russell Group? I'm like,
yeah. So Cardiff is Russell Group, but Bath isn't. But
yeah.
In terms of like,
I mean, Bath is one of the
upgrading or
best
downgraded, and I
places
don't think
to
it's
maths, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I think it initially was something about number of publications, but then you've also got like Red Brick, which is literally just the unis that were built around the same time.
Yeah, like Birmingham's Red Brick.
Queen's is a Russell Group.
Yeah.
Okay. That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, no, we also make this joke, but not about your Queen's, Cap, about University of London Queen's, is that we never say it to the parents, but we also think, but Queen's University of London is also Russell Group. Doesn't
Cardiff's the only Russell in Wales. It's clearly the superior uni. I'm just saying. It's clearly got to be. I have very conflicted feelings. So one thing that I maybe it's not doxing, it's fine. I'm from the Swansea area. I went to Cardiff. They have a varsity.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was at home, like in the Swansea area visiting my mum when the varsity was happening, and I was wearing Cardiff kit, I wasn't allowed in the house. Not allowed. I've got to support Swansea. But then when I'm back in Cardiff, I've got to support Cardiff. And it was a very interesting time for me.
I do like varsity stuff because it's always very funny. Like at our one, we had a varsity with Surrey. And I don't think they're Russell Group, yet they're also one of the best.
But it's so weird where some of the varsities come. So like, why Surrey?
Because we're right next to each other.
Okay, that makes sense.
We're literally next door neighbours.
I don't know where Russell is.
It's West London and Surrey's in Surrey, in Guildford.
Okay, that
or
makes
go
sense.
from Gatwick to Surrey, or Gatwick to Guildford, basically, if you know where Guildford
I think I was picturing Royal Holloway closer to Reading.
It's on the way to Reading.
Okay.
So it's on that track. If you drew a line from central London to Reading, Royal Holloway would be on that line.
Okay, I'm not completely mad then.
No, you are not.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but then like Bath's varsity, I think, is Cardiff Met, which doesn't make sense.
I just realised the music stopped playing.
I
don't know how long that's been going on.
Do a sing and dance.
Yeah. Oh.
St Andrews is an incredibly good university.
Yeah.
Like there's awards and groups have basically paid to get in.
Yeah. I thought it was quiet. I like jazz.
I mean, I can't hear any music anyway, so I'm not going to be helpful. But yeah,
the dog has appeared back up.
Excellent. Yeah,
Oops.
but
yeah,
Cardiff is a good uni. Bath is also a good uni. I'm having a great time. I think they're good for what you want. So if anyone wants to do fluid dynamics, highly recommend Cardiff because they have way more courses than any other institute that I've heard of for fluid dynamics. Like I did 3.
Mm-hmm.
I had elementary fluid dynamics, and theoretical and classical fluid dynamics. And like, that's more than most people.
Yeah. Oh, Glasgow and Edinburgh are Russell Group unis. So obviously they're just superior Scottish universities.
Remember, he's your mod and can mess with you.
I seem to try.
Yeah.
Stop going to the dog. I can't pretend. Actually, I know what I can do.
Don't know what you're doing.
There we go. The dog is gone.
Oh, okay. Now I
keep
can.
switching to the window.
Why don't you just close that window?
Look, it's got my overleaf document on.
Overleaf saves. Close it.
What if it didn't? What if it all?
Well, then you should have had a backup. That's your fault.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like we should probably have a break because we're slowly getting more.
I don't know what you're possibly talking about.
You know,
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because I think we've done quite a bit. And we have been speaking for over an hour. So for our own voices, it's probably good to have a break. So I have no break screen. That's the only thing I forgot to do. So we'll use the opening screen for the break. I knew I forgot something. Oh, okay. Hope everyone is great. Have a good break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. In 25 past, basically. No, not 20. Yeah, 25 past.
25
okay.
past. Well, 6 minutes, but given how long it'll take
I
you to
rounded
sort it
up
out.
to 20. Okay. See you all in 5 minutes.
Bye. Ugh. Oh my god, that Samwise. is such a piece of shit.
She did that on purpose. And so my next guest is Inversion right now. Come on, Inversion. We'll move away this person. There we go. You're gone.
Oh, it's sad because it's laggy, so I can't see what you've done.
You've been thrown off.
Oh, can I come back, please?
Yes, you are back. Welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
To this stream.
This stream, what is happening now, whether you want it to or not, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, you have no choice. We're now on some Devon gin.
5 times fast.
It's a hard word. Devon.
Every time you get it wrong, you do a shot.
Or Devon gin.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm still on the blue, not. I mean, it kind of matches the light behind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with it's purpley.
Mm.
Purpley gin.
Purpley gin. Have you ever had creme de violet?
No, but I've had violet gin.
Do you like violets?
I love violets.
You will like creme de violet because it's. I would rather have that than violet gin because it's a liqueur.
Oh, okay.
So
Ooh.
you would add the gin to the violet liqueur.
Yeah.
That is good. It's called an aviator.
Mhm.
And you can't
That's
get
a
it in
plane.
America. Yes. Or it's a person who drives a plane or flies a plane. Planes don't go from. It's called an aviator or aviation because it looks like the sky. But never get in America because they can't make it because they don't know what creme de violet is.
Okay.
Basically, it never got imported over to America,
Mhm.
and so they changed the recipe. And so it doesn't look like the sky; it just looks like grey sadness.
That's the worst way to describe a drink. Grey sadness.
Yes, because it doesn't taste that good because it's missing the nice part, which is the violets, which is like sweetens it and adds something nice to it.
Oh yeah, Parma Violet is a top tier flavour.
It is. And I love it because no one else has Parma Violet, so I take all of the Parma Violets. It's really good. I recommend if you can ever get a bottle. They sell it on Amazon.
Yeah. Well, there's a place in town called Independent Spirit here that has literally everything.
Okay.
Like to the point where they have a range of different Angostura bitters with different flavours.
Okay.
And I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But they have it.
Mhm.
So I will see. I'll have a look out.
That's good. So this is the unscripted part because all the other stuff was scripted. oh, cat has moved again.
Sorry, professional. Yes. go
Yes,
on.
we're all 100% professional. Have you ever seen a late night show? This is what happens. Especially during lockdown late night shows when they all had to make it themselves in their own homes.
Oh, they definitely make their drinks way stronger than they should be.
Oh, they really do. It was hilarious seeing how basically Stephen Colbert had to get his wife to be the producer and the sound person, and every so often he was like, "And now my guest, my wife," and it was just all he could do was my wife. It was actually very sweet what they did. It was really funny.
Nice.
So, for those who don't know what this next section is where I will do some Q&As from you, the chat, the lovely chat, charitable chat, about questions to do
No
with
exam
cats.
questions.
No, all exam questions. This is part of your thesis defense.
This is the bit where you tell me I have to sit an exam paper and I
Yes,
cry.
there will be an exam after this about what has been said over the stream.
Oh god.
I hope you were taking notes. Also, that goes for you, chat. You also have to take the exam. I've just seen what chat is writing. They're very upset
I'm
about.
slightly concerned.
They're upset about the driving a plane. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your favourite colour of the alphabet? What?
So I feel like 7s feel very like yellowy and Y-y. So and like because it's yellow and Y, it's 7.
So you imagine the number 7 is yellow.
So do you know like synesthesia where you like
yeah.
match like it's not as strong as that, but like things have color. Like
Yeah.
school subjects have color, numbers have
Yeah,
color.
no, I see that as well. Like for me,
Yeah.
maths is blue.
Maths is red. But applied maths is blue. Sevens are yellow. So
Okay.
7 is my favorite color because it's yellow, and then, well, it's not my favorite color, but yellow off that. Why?
Okay. For me, 7 is slowly turning beige, and that's because
It's like
of
sad yellow.
because I guess I could say buff. Buff is a color in chemistry that is I found out, but it's because of the cardboard 7 color. Is literally why yellow 7 not yellow. Yellow is becoming 7.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
If you want the actual like scale of 1 to 10, favorite number 3, favorite color purple, favorite letter of the alphabet.
Why?
Why is it pretty good? Why is it pretty
why
good?
is it-
X's are quite fun to write.
X's are
because,
also
like,
good.
I do my letter X's as like 2 backward C,
Oh,
C
okay.
and a backward C.
Mhm.
So that one's quite funky.
Yeah, no, I always save that X for maths. Because it's special. If I wrote it the other way, I'll be thinking of multivariate variables. Because me,
It's a multiply, and you will not convince me otherwise. But now it's just like X's are
Yeah.
pretty funky. Although it ruins it when I have to use chi.
chi goes underneath the line.
Huh.
That's. I also make chi a bit more extravagant, and it's got one curve but one straight line, so it's like.
Oh yeah, that's true. It kind of like comes through. Yeah, I get you. What's your favorite Greek letter? I'm ignoring chat's questions now. I'm asking you them.
I like C because it's hard to say but also really hard to draw.
I respect that.
Yeah, pi also. Pi's a nice. Also capital pi. I quite like capital pi. The product symbol, because I never get to use the product symbol, so I like it.
Should do maths, mate. You'd use it all the time.
I mean, I am using it all the time now because all in statistics is products. Likelihoods are the product of all the functions.
Yeah,
Um,
disgusting. No,
Capital
I'm quite fond of eta because it looks like an N.
N is fun to
Eta
write.
does not sound like N,
Yeah.
but it looks like an N, and I respect that as a
Eta-
choice.
Eta is a good letter to write as well. I like writing that one. Also,
yeah,
it's
they usually couple eta and psi together.
Yes. What's it? It's the Minkowski matrix in general relativity or special relativity.
I will take your word for it.
It means flat.
It's my free surface.
It's flat space time. Well, it's a flat surface.
Oh, lol. Yeah.
So it's just
So
ones
that's-
and
Yeah, because that's what me and Simon had an argument about when we were talking, is because I did my free surface and called it eta, and he was like, why is that not H?
okay. I think that makes sense.
It's like height away from 0. Like, I understand it, but he's wrong. Mine's pretty.
Yeah, no, but H is because height, and we're physicists, so we like to use our common sense. I don't know.
Moving on to other questions.
Yeah, moving on to questions. There's a question from me, which is like this. That was me showing the question. The next one is someone saying, can you simulate collapsing neutron stars dynamics? Personally, no. That is very far out of my thing. Can you simulate collapsing neutron star dynamics?
No, so I did hear you right the first time. It's like, those are
Yeah.
words I think I recognise. No.
They're words, definitely.
Yeah.
What they mean.
I can just about give you a linear wave.
I-
Just about.
Oh.
Depends
have
what
you-
day it is.
Have you ever done? Well, I guess because it's not physics, so I don't know what that would be in maths. Like, I mean, because it's actually an interesting thing of like the fluids inside like compact objects. Because if a star is like plasmas and stuff, it's like at least plasmas are something. But then when you get to a white dwarf, the star stops collapsing because the electrons are stopping it from collapsing any further. They're producing a force, a degenerate force, and then neutron stars are, instead of electrons, it's neutrons, and it's a relativistic fluid.
That's pretty cool.
So it's weird, and doing that question sounds horrible.
Yeah, no, that does. I mean, like in terms of numerical simulations, I only really do kind of linear-ish stuff.
Yeah.
Like this bouncing droplet is probably the most fascinating I've touched numerically. Nothing quite like super. I've done a little bit of non-Newtonian fluids in my final year of undergrad.
Okay.
So that was just a simple like power law, like picture cornstarchy type fluid. And that was only theoretically, so I didn't get to simulate anything.
Okay.
But I now know how it works.
Oh, eta is H. That does make sense.
Yeah,
So-
but it sounds like it should be an E and it's written with an N, and
I mean,
it's weird.
what?
love it.
But then you have new.
New looks like a V though.
No, but new sounds like N. And
Yes, but it looks like a V to the point where when I was doing my first fluids module, I didn't know he was using a new because he did them. Yes, I have a pen and paper next to me. Like that. Which just looks like a tick.
yeah, no, that is a tick. I don't support that new.
And then we had the type notes and they looked like this. And
That's
I did not
new.
equate that these two things were the same.
Ah.
So I nearly failed the module because I didn't know what viscosity was.
Oh. Oh.
Ah.
I had one lecturer who, so in general, in like relativity stuff, muse and news always come together for your space-time stuff. But one person just was so ecstatic about muse and news, they would just go mu or nu, and it just sounded either it was nu or mu or mu, and you're like, what are they saying?
Mewtwo?
Mew, and it's like, are they saying separate ones? Is it a Mew? Is it a new? Is it new? Or is it Mew or new? It's like, say it slowly, please. It's
One of the possible combinations of two of those things
Yeah.
at the same time. Maybe.
Possibly. Okay, next question. We've done that on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, Kappa said, what happened to you that made you think it was wise to make... What happened to you that made you think it was wise to make Samwise, Thomas, and I mod? Oh, it's a cat. Okay.
Samwise and Inversion were nice to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have many friends. And you seem to be relatively competent. That was a mistake, but that was the assumption I made. I regret all decisions. However, I've stuck with me. I think that sums it up.
Oh, I think I also the same. So next question is...
My mods. You leave my mods alone. They're perfectly functional.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? I'm gonna get it.
What do you know?
Oh no, what happened?
What the hell shit are you doing here? All sack green suit. Great green suit. 1 second. But just like green suit. I got the green suit.
Is it Cambridge blue? It's not Cambridge blue.
It's green suit. Sorry, I told Wolzak I was getting it, and he was like,
Oh.
"It's bold."
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
And another Captain Reed question. What's your favorite hex code?
The one for the, I can tell you, it's the green that I use as an accent on Twitch.
I was gonna say.
I have there's a website called Colors, but it's spelled with 2 O's and then an O rather than there are no R's. 009988.
Okay, my one, I also have this, is 1E90FF. It's Dodger blue. It's the best blue. It's
Nice.
very, very clear blue.
Is the hex my suit? No, but it should be. I could match my outfits to my color palette.
That
I have
is
to re-dye my hair, but it'll be fine.
that is definitely, it's a mood. Like already now in my department, people are clocking properly now that I do Twitch. Someone came up to me and was like, so you do Twitch? Or Sam, you do Twitch? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Can you help me do my thing for the astronomy outreach thing? And I'm like, okay, sure.
Yep.
I guess I have no say in this, but fine, okay.
No, do it.
No, I am doing it.
Outreach is why we're here.
I know.
It's great.
Basically, it's what we're doing right now. They call it Ask an Astronomer. I call it PhD Late Show.
I love it.
Because
I love it.
we can, I think, properly drink in this one. Well, I probably can't do that while under official Cambridge business.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
is-
there's a reason that the stream will eventually be called Drunk Maths. It's like it's
Yeah,
hitting the nail on the head.
definitely.
Respond with pay me. Yeah, Samwise, you're doing it wrong because the university did similar to me, and I'm getting a secondment. So
This
You
is
should,
we're too nice in astronomy.
start.
No, I do
start
need
charging.
there is a thing I can do which is called the Masters Fund, but I feel it doesn't make it mine. It makes it the colleges. So eventually,
yeah,
I would
no.
have to give the stuff back.
Separate
yeah.
pots. But like, yeah, doing outreach is like
Yeah, so
such a big part of life.
actually,
for
sure.
me.
So no, maybe we can, because it'll be an hour worth of my time. I can do this. I'll email the guy and say, you can pay me. No, because we do observation evenings and people get paid for that. So people should pay.
We
me
have
for
a
this.
casual hours contract with the university, so that any work that we do outside of our PhD is like billable. So the training, Wolsak and I did like most of the induction week for the new PhD students between us, and like all that sort of stuff. But they just check it on our casual hours, and then
Yeah, no, we had a similar thing in undergrad as well. I remember I got paid twice as much as I should have at one point. And the person was like, just don't question it. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Okay.
It was halfway through the pandemic. They were like, you're going to get paid. I'm like, all the stuff you haven't done and that you were also going to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say no. Thank you. It was interesting.
Cap's being to me.
Hmm?
Cap is being mean to me in
Cat,
chat.
what are you doing? I can revoke that mod. I have power here.
This joke's on you. Wolsak sees me every week. We're in the.
I love you. I don't know my favorite hex. Actually, I'm slowly learning Dr. Blue, though I quickly googled Dr. Blue before answering that question.
What is 00E? Envision, is that hex code the
Okay,
one you have for things?
yeah, what is it? Wait, I didn't.
Yes. Envisions is the color of his name.
That's what I thought. Do you know what my color is? It's Cambridge Blue.
22222 is black. Oh, is this the blacker than black?
Oh,
Those-
the
There's
know what you
a
mean.
shade of black that has like a little bit of value to it, and then it, to like perspective eye, it looks.
wait, is it this? It's dark grey. Vanta black? Are we thinking of Vanta black?
Oh, I don't know. The 222222 color hex can be obtained by blending 444444 with 000000. This is advice on a website.
Well, what's the hex code of it? Oh. Vanta
I'm guessing
black.
it's just 000.
Yeah, I guess it is 0.
00 because it's like,
Wow.
Wow.
But it's
Wow.
the paint that's like the closest to.
Thank you, Corbett K9, for subbing. That was
Aw.
very wow of you.
Thank you. And if anyone else has a Prime sub wandering around, they should throw it at Samwise because he's great.
Okay.
He's been putting up with me for 1 minute, 1 hour 47. So like, you should definitely.
Yeah, I'm amazed it's already been 20 minutes since we've been off break. Like, it's gone very quickly.
Almost like we chat rubbish.
Yeah, and
a
we're
lot.
great at it. Why was Cat being? What was Paul? What's that cutting to? Oh, there. Now I got the comment. There we go. They are being mean to you. You should unmod them and then mod them again.
I would, but then I'd have more work to do, and then I'd have to find new mods, and it's like a whole.
No, but you do it like within a minute. Like you give them the fear of what it's like without their power. It's like Thor in the film Thor. Like you it works so well because they've got a sword, not a hammer. You take away the sword, they've got to then discover who they are, and then eventually they have a great fight in Twitch chat where they don't have their mod powers, they have their human powers, and then eventually you as Cat Odin are like, well, you've got your powers back, you are now a mod.
Yeah,
It works so
I mean,
well.
Anthony Hopkins is Welsh, so we have that in common.
It's getting better now. It's Cat, you best be scared
Yep. I'll do it because I know how to do that.
Is it just unmod?
I know how Twitch works. Yeah, I get confused with whether it's backward slash or forward slash. And then
there are many questions to do.
a whole effort. Okay, sorry, paying attention.
No, there aren't that many. It's all
Oh.
good. We can spend as long or as little as we want. For
So some people-
Samwise, how do you hang a person according to asking for a friend? Well, the end of that story was we were never allowed to finish our experiment because the headmaster saw us hanging a mannequin and then said, "Can you please? What are you doing?" We're like, "We're gonna hang someone properly." He's like, "No," and we're like, "Okay."
Turns out hanging children, bad idea.
The producer said fine. Headmaster said no, so we're like, "Oh."
Was the producer a music or a drama teacher?
Well, he was an English teacher. He initially got into drama because he literally got roped into doing it, and then he just enjoyed it so much he carried on for it for 30 years.
Got roped in, did he?
I know. I'm happy.
That was good. That was a good one.
It is a good one, especially when he burns down the school and you can't prove it was him, but we all know it was him. I
feel like I need to go text my friend and be like, "Can you give me the in-depth story?"
So the old stage lights had very thick wires and they got very hot. And this was an old wooden building from the 1800s. And he left the lights on over the weekend.
Yeah.
And it burnt down. But, we can't prove it was him. But we know it was him.
Whoops.
He's now got an MBE. I know. It's a flask. Is it a flask? Is that what it's called?
Klein bottle.
That's it. It's a bottle, and a Klein flask sounds. I don't know.
I don't know if there is something mathsy with a flask. But yeah, it's a 3D object with only one surface. They could have ruined Tom Holland's career.
Well,
it's a bit
the thing
hard
was, Tom Holland didn't do the school plays because he was already too busy in West End productions
Actual
of Billy
plays.
Elliot. Like he was. I don't think he actually did any. He might have. Actually, I'm not too sure if he did any with the school. I think literally just because he was just too busy.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Torchwood?
Yes.
There was one episode that was focused on stories of like the Fae, like taking a small girl, like child. I went to school with the small child.
Oh, okay.
That's my like claim to fame is one of the girls I went to primary with was like the main character in a Torchwood episode, and she was also she was one of the little kids sat on the floor during the David Tennant Doctor Who episode in the 50s with the TV stealing people's faces. Yeah, she was one of the bubs that was over watching the coronation.
Yeah, it was 50s, wasn't it? It was 1953. I think it was
52.
52. When was Queen Elizabeth?
It's her 70th.
Wait, yeah, it's 70
so,
minus now, so it's 51.
Are you my mummy? That's weird. Don't like that episode.
That was an uncomfortable episode.
Yeah. I didn't think I watched the second part, like half of that story arc, until I was like much
Doctor
older
Who
than I
used
was when
to
it
be
came
so
out.
scary and so terrifying, and then it got not spooky later on.
Oh, there you go. We're both right. Succeeded in 1952, coronation in 53.
Okay, we knew it was. Next question. What things have been ruined by doing maths and other sciences? What? Things? Oh, for example, I always do H bar and not H. So what from your degree has caused you to have issues in your daily life because you do what you do in your degree rather than normal stuff? I don't know if I said that well.
I understand the concept.
Yeah.
There's points specifically around the time that I'm doing write-ups where I start thinking in LaTeX.
Oh, okay.
So there are times where like if I'm thinking or like trying to process an equation, like I really struggled seeing things visually, but instead of like thinking integral, this is always the one I go to. Instead of like thinking about an integral, I will think /int.
Yeah, I also do that.
The other then obvious one is talking to a non-mathematician and saying like LaTeX, but instead of saying LaTeX, I say latex, and then that leading to interesting conversations.
Yeah, also good, but also.
Yep. Add that to the fact fluid dynamics,
dynamics.
Yep, and lubrication theory.
I can. Interesting. We also had we had in the geology course, which was planetary. No. What's it? I can't remember what it's called. Planetary geology and geophysics or something. And the first lecture, the guy just gave a brief overview of the course, not a brief overcourse of the course. And he was like, "Oh yes, the report, the physicists can use latex, for their coursework," and everyone was like, "What
the hell are you on about?
What is latex?" And we're just like, "Not latex."
Yeah. But it is one of those things. It's like if you read it and not hear it first.
I mean, I thought it was called latex until like 2 years in, until someone actually said, "No, it's latex," and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, although people still say text studio, or like text.
I've heard text studio. I've never heard text studio.
If someone introduces me to Hannah Witten, I would totally do a collab. Like, just putting that out there.
Oh, you got silence.
I think Cap might have a way in as well.
Oh.
Just saying.
You mod for her. Well, now we do have an in.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, I'd say that's like the most obvious one. In terms of like general use, I have a lot of nerdy paraphernalia. I don't know if you could tell, and I get overly excited about maths. Like, did you see on Twitter the video of the guys up on the ISS were playing with bubbles? It made me so happy.
I scrolled through it. I didn't watch it, but I did see the bubbles.
It was they had like, because it was just all talking about surface tension, and like my stuff is all small wave regime, so capillary waves is my jam, surface tension dominated effects. So seeing how these, like, in space, if you just turn gravity off, everything goes to a bubble. But I get a bit excited about stuff like that, and that leads to an interesting time.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I'm really sad I don't have any really nerdy things on my bookshelf, apart from the reissue of The Way of Kings, because they reissued it as a single book hardback.
Oh, that's so cool!
So because I had it initially as part 1 and I lost the book, but I'm so happy I lost it because now I've got it in a single like hardback book. So much better.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't have that many Brandon Sandersons because I borrowed them from a friend. Actually, the same friend that got me into Wheel of Time. But like when I said I wanted shelves to put up in the background, and then like just because of who I am, but Woolsack got me the lamp, like the thing, and then my friends got me these for just because I'm a nerd.
I mean, I have got posters over that are supposed to go on my beige, my yellow, my buff wall. I don't know what colour it is. Colours are hard for me. Cream, that's the general wall colour.
Yeah, I was going to put that one like there, but I kind of like the idea of having the whiteboard.
Yeah,
so I can access the whiteboard. I think that would be really cute. But like that's a droplet, and then the Mandelbrot set behind it in focus.
Yeah. My old supervisor Glenn has the way the positron was detected, which got a Nobel Prize. They used basically a B-52 bomber or something, and a slab of lead and a particle detector, and they were 7 basically sets of these that were used to detect this curve, which was the positron. And for his PhD or undergrad, his father gave him one of them, or the head PI gave him this thing, which I would love to have, because it's literally something that won a Nobel Prize, and he just got it for his degree.
That's really cool.
Because his dad created particle detectors, and it just looks so cool. And
we're being shouted at, by the way.
There are many. Kat, it's fine. Look, we know what we're doing, because the next one is...
We are the professionals, thank you very much.
Because the next one is, why is pi 3? And we all know the question is that pi is actually 4 if we round correctly.
Oh,
Because then inversion then says y does pi squared equal e squared equal g, which equals 10.
if you buy me earrings that have a 3 on them, I will wear like a pair interchangeably with these. But also stop approximating, you bloody engineers. I don't know. It's like 2 decimal places.
It's only what, 1400ths of a unit? I don't know.
Ish. Yeah.
Engineers
build the world fires.
off the backs of the oppressed mathematicians. But really physicists.
Not to be that person, but wasn't there that bridge that
Collapse.
did the wibbly wobbly because they didn't pay attention?
I mean, have you seen the Millennium Bridge?
Mhm.
But the thing that was
Not
really
like-
scary about that was the comment was, well, you can't test it until you actually build the bridge. It's like you don't know this stuff happens until you actually do it.
Fine,
And it's
baby.
like, folks, if you read Humble Pie by another fantastic maths communicator, Matt Parker, he gives an example of a skyscraper in Seoul, and there's the story of it started wobbling because there was a Zumba class on the ground floor, and the beat of I have the power basically caused a resonance in the building that caused it to wobble.
That's amazing. I have that book downstairs, but it's not up here, and I'm sad now. So I want it to be up here.
I've got it at home, but I didn't bring it with me.
I have Things to Make and Do in the Fourth Dimension.
That I've got that one as well,
which is arguably my favorite.
I don't know. Do I have it? I have to actually start
until Firmament comes out. Then it will still be my favorite, but at least I'll have read Firmament. That's the point. Kat and Matt collab when? I have met him. I volunteered at an event that he was speaking at back in 2019 when we were allowed to speak. But I was ushering the doors.
That sounds
rather
like
than like
when you were allowed to speak, which was when you weren't in a restraining order or something.
No, I just meant like pre-Panini. I didn't mean like no, but is Woolsack still here? I'm gonna tell this story anyway. We were on the train up. Mm-hmm. It was in Bristol. When we were on the train up and we sat down, we just found a table space because there were 3 of us, and we sat down and we just started talking about the event because we were basically called in to do the doors and check in the schools to attend this talk. We were talking about it and we were like sharing stories about how much we all were really excited to meet Matt Parker and David Aitchison, and we knew Ben Sparks from uni, and it was great. And then Matt Parker was next to us in the train. He was across the aisle and he was just sat there, and he just leant, like, this guy, from our perspective, this guy just leant across and was like, "Are you doing this on purpose?" And we look and it was Matt Parker. I was just like, I'm so glad because I nearly had said the words, "I wish I'd brought the book to get him to sign it." But he's a very lovely man, and he bought us all a pint afterwards, and we got to like sit down and have a pint.
I really do want to meet him because he literally saved my mental state, along with many other people in the pandemic or the Pini in the beginning. Just I binged so much of his stuff. Also, thank you, darling Ed. Ed,
my love. Hi.
We've just had a baby, myself and
Ed. I think
Ed.
he's trying to say drunk. There we go. So am I. Cheers.
We're also drinking. So this is now, I think, getting the late part of the show.
The late.
No, late show is, I think, 11. No, late show is 11. Late show is 12. I think that's how it goes. But they can't do that now because James Gordon.
Kat, why do we need to hurry? It's not like one of us is streaming at 9 a.m.
Oh, it's Monday, isn't it? Oh,
it's something I remembered about 20 minutes ago is that I'm streaming first thing in the morning.
I'm just happy Cambridge weeks start on Thursdays or not Mondays because my first lecture's on Thursday. A question you have, Ed, a question can be put in the correct form in the Q&A. Oh yeah, Nemo, it's very late for you. It's tomorrow for Nemo. Anyway, next question. To both hosts and guests, what are some of your favourite extracurricular memories from undergrad?
Wait, what is some of our
Best
favorite memories from undergrad?
extracurricular, so not related to our
Ooh.
course, I guess.
Okay, let me think. So during undergrad specifically, I didn't take part in that many like society things. I went to a fitness society, with like circusy aerially stuff, and like that was incredibly great because it was just a bunch of people doing exercise and having a great time. So probably those. Also, every single social was fancy dress. Actually, definitely the fancy dress socials. I miss the excuse to dress up in a ridiculous manner. Those were good fun.
Me, I do not know. I didn't actually. One of the things I did regret about my undergrad, I didn't do too much extracurricular stuff, or specifically part of a society. Seeing what's going on in chat, I'm just like,
I know what you're talking about.
but I don't know. We had a society where we always had pizza every weekend. Every Wednesday. That was always good because it was free. Free pizza, always good. And it was the only reason I actually went to Cambridge for a thing. I'm so confused.
Just keep talking. It'll be fine. Reason you went to Cambridge.
Yes, it's the only reason I went to Cambridge was this event was going on, so we went. And at the end of the event, I was like, oh, there's an open day. I might as well attend the open day. And then because I attended the open day, I thought, oh, I might as well apply. And now here I am.
Oh, I love that. That's a good way to do things.
Literally because I was really bored in the Starbucks waiting for the bus to arrive. So I was just like, oh, there's an open day. That was literally it. And now we have more questions, which is, why is Kat my favourite guest? Well, out of the one guest I have had, you were also very good. You were
also very good.
Also adequate. There we go. I cannot have, as a host, I cannot have favourites.
I'll fucking unmod you.
I will be like Thor. I will reclaim my modding sword.
Fine. To be fair, it was Airsofter was your last.
Yes.
That was a pretty good interview.
I enjoyed it.
Much more respectful.
Well, he wasn't perfect because he goes to Oxford. So therefore, yeah, you are my favourite guest because you're not at Oxford.
Aha! I win.
Next one. Yes, what I said above, but okay, Ed, what did you write? As someone who's about to go, Ed, you finish your sentence. Oh no, how?
It's the one above that.
Oh, how? Okay, how have you found sorting finance studies? So, I think for a PhD, it's not the worst compared to what would be a subsequent degree, at least in England and Wales and Northern Ireland, I assume, because your undergrad is paid by student finance insert country. Green suit. And like you get your maintenance loan and your tuition paid for by them, and then your PhD is paid by research people. So you don't have to worry too much. But unless you do a subsequent degree that isn't financed, I don't know, because like I have a friend who's doing a master's and they've had to pay for their master's because it's a postgrad master's rather than a integrated master's.
Yeah. So generally speaking, masters will be like a massive deficit, and then PhDs are like.
But what Ed is doing is going to be a second undergrad, I assume. I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean it depends, but generally speaking, anything that isn't like a paid or a funded course is going to leave you in some sort of a deficit. But provided you can get support with either loans or part-time you should be all right. Going on to a stipend is quite fun because if you were on the maintenance loan in the British system for like undergrad, the stipend doubles it, and then your expected earnings afterwards double that. So you slowly get more money. And then you start paying off your bloody loans.
Yeah, like I think one thing to look out for would be bursaries and like scholarships that you win during your studies. Those are always like ways to look up. Like if you get certain grades or if you do certain things, you can get like an extra £1,000 in your pocket, which can always help with like rents and stuff.
And depending on the course and the degree and the what goes on, tutoring, or like if the university offers jobs within it. So Cardiff undergrad, you couldn't tutor, but they would do like open days or volunteering to help like usher in the undergrads, like the freshers and stuff. There was always like opportunities for income as like a part-time thing, but not too bad.
Yeah, like you got outreach is a very easy way to. If you don't mind people, it's a good way to get some pocket money. Basically, you can pay off your pub trips, which is what I saw it as.
Love you, Ed. Have a good time.
Okay, au revoir, Ed. Bonne nuit. Okay, where are we? Ed, when are you coming to visit? Visit Scotland, I assume. Whenever Scotland gives me a reason to visit, I think.
March. Pretty free in March.
I don't know when I'm free. Because I don't know when I'm going to America, which is the main thing.
Ooh, you're going to America?
Oh yeah, this was a Zoom call. This was not this conversation. I might be either going to... Well, no, I'm hopefully going to go to New York, spend some time there, then spend some time in Oklahoma, and then after spending time in Oklahoma, spend some time in California.
Very cool. Slowly, like, dotting your way across.
Yeah, so New York will be... Thank you, Archie? A-Archie? A-Archie? I can't say words. For the follow. So my supervisor's on sabbatical in New York at Flatiron Institute,
cool.
which is the intersection of Broadway and Fifth Avenue. So I'll get to say I'm working off Broadway. It sounds like I'm in Broadway, which would be a dream of mine. So I'll spend some time there, and then I'd visit family in Oklahoma for a week for my own holiday. Look, Oklahoma is the best state that has a musical named after it.
Chicago's pretty good.
Oh yeah, Chicago is one, isn't it?
Not a state, but like still.
Oh yeah, no, there we go. It's not a state. It's removed.
Look, the fact that I remembered Chicago existed, it's like, shut up, Envision.
I mean, it basically is a state, isn't it? What's it in? Is it Michigan? Or is it Illinois? I can't remember.
Illinois.
Look, Chicago, it basically is. If the Americans say London is the UK, then Chicago is...
Americans say Wales doesn't exist. Like,
Americans don't think Europe exists. They think it's like this weird...
kind of holds the rest of Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But yeah, then after Oklahoma, we'll be then California for a conference.
Very cool.
Which is the yearly meeting of the American Astrophysics Society. So that's fun.
Okay. Well, aside from that, you go visit Envision in St. Andrews.
I mean, if St. Andrews could pay for my visit, I mean, I could always speak at a certain society. I
can speak not about anything useful, but can speak.
Well, Roman, that's because you are in Holland, aren't you? That's what I've heard. Anyway, next question. Before Roman shouts at me. Scotland's cheaper to visit. Can anyone just convene in St. Andrews? I'm just seeing Chad get very angry with what I said.
Yeah, you're not surviving meeting Roman in person.
No, but this is what you get when you get a late night host. They feed on the comedy of the people they know.
This is true.
This is true. Have we either seen Spider-Man? Well, I've seen Spider-Man, but I've not seen the new Spider-Man.
I've seen.
I know I'm going
No
to
Way
move to
Home.
Discord questions, Cat, at some point.
Y'all also need to visit Canada too. I will be.
I do
soon,
want to
but
see
just the wrong
Canada,
side.
and I have probably more reason to see Canada than Scotland because one of the people that we work with is in British Columbia. So
Oh, that's cool. That's actually where I'm going, but not for a work thing.
yes, for reasons.
Yeah. But like at some point, I would. I think I have family just outside Toronto, so I would love to
Okay.
go to that side of things as well.
Okay.
Yeah, my like top 2 places to visit at the minute are like Canada and Japan.
Oh yeah, Japan. I would love to go.
Dream holidays. Yeah.
Japan would be something. Just then, I thought Cole said in 4000 BC was something, but no, it's in British Columbia. It's like 4,000 kilometers away, though. Yes, but Cole, it's
Yeah.
Canada, so it's basically right next door to you. I know it's not because your trains go slower than a car. Literally, it's
Road
like
trip.
40. It's so strange. Anyway,
Very, very big.
we can now see the proper questions on Discord. We probably should have done this the other way around. Probably, but you know, nothing's perfect. So Cap has actually done some questions, which is you touched upon in it this evening, but in a brief digestible form. What? If you see the Discord, you'll see what I had to read out.
You've touched upon it this evening, but in a brief digestible format.
Do not read this bit out. What would you?
What advice?
You can say.
What advice would you give to anyone getting A-level results that don't meet the needs of their choices? To
not give up. I think that's the main thing. Is to never give up, never surrender. Like, if you want to do something, you have to like fight for it. Like, I think I spoke to like a few teachers I know if they knew any good like teachers or not teachers, universities would be good for clearing. That was one thing I did. And one of them recommended Royal Holloway as well. So that was one reason for me.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely not the end by any means. And like hopefully when you're looking for universities, you look at a lot of them anyway. Like even if you know for certain there's one that you want to apply to, you should go and visit the others just so that in the worst case you have already seen at least some variety, and that can give you a better indication of like, okay, well, that has happened, now what do we do? Also like reach out if your school or college has any sort of support or like a lecturer that you got on with or teacher you got on with, like go talk to them just for support during that time, because it is rubbish and it can make you feel like you're not good enough, but you are, and you can do so much with no qualifications. The qualifications don't necessarily mean anything to get you to where you want to be. It just might take more time than you first thought.
And then like it's very far along the road, but when you get to like a PhD, you realize that the university you're at doesn't actually make some difference, but isn't the thing that defines what you do and how you get to that PhD course. It's what you do on that course which matters. Because you at least in like physics, most universities are as good as each other in what they do. Each university has their own specific group that is fantastic in what they do. One group might be good in one thing, and then another university might be good at another thing.
Yeah.
Next
very much so.
Question by Cap also. On the same topic, if you could go back and change the results that day, so you could get into your firm or reserve, would you? Same.
No.
I think.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
If you watched a certain Nebula interview, or interview on Nebula, you could see my response to that question. I think Simon definitely asked me that question. I can't remember. I think it is on Nebula. But I also would not change it. I enjoyed my time at Royal Holloway so much, and I think I had such a good experience that it's what helped me get into where I am right now. I think.
I think had I gone to Oxford, I would have had a mental breakdown very early on, and I would have lost my love for what I do. Like, I think Cardiff was the perfect amount of support for me, to let me figure out what I wanted. And I think even the same with Bath. I think that I love it here now as part of the staff, but the pressure that the first years go through is intentionally challenging to weed out the weak and all this nonsense. And that wasn't the right fit for me then, and it's not the right fit for me now. And I'm so glad I got the opportunity to go to Cardiff, because it's fucking baller. Also, like, the nightlife in Cardiff is so much better than Bath and Oxford, and you will never tell me otherwise. Like, it's rubbish. It's rubbish here.
Oh, that's what
Probably
people
not
say
the
about Cambridge.
people want, but it's the reason that we all know is true.
And the final one is, what would you tell to your A-level selves? Like one thing.
Cap, you're making me cry. Do you want to hit this one first? Or?
I don't know why I would tell myself, just because, I don't know, it would be fine, don't worry, keep at it. Because I'm happy where I am, and because of, like, some, like, not doing well at my A-levels, better things happened. It's like, I don't know, you'll be fine. I think that's all I would say. Or maybe join some more societies at undergrad. That would be something. And be a bit more outgoing when you're at university. I think that would be another thing. But yeah, that would be for me.
Yeah, similar sort of thing of, like, just, it's okay. It, like, there was so much pressure
Balls,
leading
I
from
tripped,
GCSE,
and now there are
leaving
100
this, like,
pennies
massive
all
high,
over the
like,
floor.
I don't think
Well,
I
keep
mentioned
'em.
it. I had 10 A stars at GCSE, and, like, I'm getting emotional, and Roman's doing that. Like,
well,
do you?
at least you did hear the Australian accent going on there with the bars.
I can't hear it. I have no idea how much of that I got spoken over.
Like, you were very emotional, and all I hear was that in an Australian accent. I'm like, you can't keep a straight face while that was going on.
Yeah, I had a really good GCSE, and, like, the fact that I was like, oh, I don't need to look at secondary choices, I don't need to do this, and then, like, my life got turned upside down. Like, so much went wrong for me during my A levels, and I thought that it was over and I wasn't good enough and I was never going to get to where I wanted to be. And I got there, and it even if I hadn't, it's okay. Like, I am so grateful and so friggin' proud of myself for where I got to and where I am right now, and it's only going up. Like, the fact that the streaming and, like, the doing stuff like this, I love it, and I want to do more of it. And it's just finding what makes you happy and doing more of it, and doing as much of it as you can while still looking after yourself. Like, would Oxford have been the, you know, pinnacle of maths education? Maybe, but would it have made me happy? No. So it's finding for you right here, right now, not for you in 10 years, not for you in your head, like, for you right here and right now. What do you need, and what sort of support do you need? And making choices to try and get you as close to that as you can. If you don't get what you think you want, that's okay too. You just keep adapting and moving. But, like, it's gonna be okay. And you're going to meet some weird, like, randos on the internet called Samwise, Cap, and Thomas, and they're going to drive you fucking mental, but it's okay.
I was really scared about what you're going to say then. I was like, and you said, oh my, I was like, oh no, what have I done? And you're like, oh, okay, no, I'm okay, I'm in the clear.
That is the advice I would give to little baby Cat. That's, yeah.
Specifically to Cap, no one else, just Cap.
Yeah.
This whole stream.
I feel like the knowing Cap, Samwise, and Invasion is very niche to me. As a life, I mean, I give advice to everyone else, fucking run. But
yeah. Okay, final question is, what are fluids? What are fluids?
What are fluids? Stuff that moves in it.
You know, I was actually thinking about this. Wait, there were 2 more questions. I know this one. That was the only question. We've read Beach's one out. That was in the Twitch. He also read it in the Twitch. Look.
Okay.
I know my stream. Let's No, because I was thinking about this recently. It's like, is there what's the difference between a fluid and a liquid?
Fluids can. A liquid is a fluid. A fluid isn't a liquid. A fluid is something that, I don't know physics or chemistry, but a fluid is something that like has it moves and it chills, and particles can like be modeled independently, whereas a solid is like a distinct thing. But as soon as it has any sort of like particles gliding over each other, they can be modeled as a fluid, is how I picture it in my head. So like lava that's cooling is still a fluid until it's a solid rock.
So there's some motion involved, basically.
Yeah. And like air is a fluid.
Yeah.
But liquid is like a specific state of matter.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's like fingers and thumbs. All thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs.
Okay, that's good. I like that. That will be the start of your thesis in the introduction caption. All fingers.
Not all fingers are thumbs. Full stop. End of sentence. Never reference it again.
Yeah.
Oh god.
There we go.
Yeah. I think like there's probably a technical definition out there somewhere, but
yeah.
The way that my brain, a substance that has no fixed shape yet and yields easily to external pressure, a gas or liquid, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And cats.
Yes, that is true. Cats are like that.
Yeah.
This stream is.
You heard it here first, kids. I got 2 friggin' degrees, and that's that's what we come away with.
If you can make things hot that's just pressurized enough, you can't tell if something is a liquid or gas.
That's pretty cool.
Because you have the critical point, which is well, it'll be up there if I was a plot.
Yeah. So I haven't looked that much at like changing profiles of like extreme temperatures one way or the other, or like non-Newtonian stuff properly, but it's definitely something I would love to do and like look at.
It's so weird. Like
very cool.
Like was it how there's like 9 different states of ice. Like you have ice 1, ice 2, ice 3, ice 4.
Yeah.
Ice 3 is a very funky one. You have ice 6, I think, is quite good. But they're just like all different shapes of ice because of the pressure and the temperature at which they form.
And like different crystallization processes and stuff. Yeah, my partner spent some time studying those. It's interesting. It's weird.
It is weird. Basically, every other planet has funky stuff apart from Earth. Is
which
what
is
I learned.
Boring.
Yeah.
What's pretty funky?
What's special on Earth? Just think
Me?
of life. Yeah.
Come on, that was funny.
Yeah, it was. I was burping at the same time, so I couldn't laugh about like properly.
Wow.
So I was like, don't say anything.
Yeah. Something that we haven't have we done with the serious questions?
We have. If you want to stop the serious questions, or we can finish one more, or
well, just I mean, if we have more, we'll have more. But I have a comment.
Okay, fine. What's the comment?
Well, I got dressed up for this evening. I put heels on, and I'm realizing now that was kind of a silly thing to do.
I've got socks on. Yeah.
No, I've got.
I can't. No, I didn't know.
I do this without getting weird.
Oh, those are very, very high heels or flat.
Yeah, it went with the outfit, and the trousers are quite long, so I was like, I'll put my heels on. And then I realized I'm not standing up, and you can't see my lower half. So really, I could have just.
I also debated putting on smart shoes. I was like, I mean, I want to put shoes on because my feet will be cold otherwise. And then I was
it feels very weird to get like dressed up but not wear shoes.
Yeah. I also agree with this statement.
You did it for you, Kat? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time. If I'm in the same outfit tomorrow, it's because I've literally just slept at my desk, but like it's fine.
Just have
Envision if you think I have Crocs.
Do you have Crocs inversion? Maybe that's why. Maybe inversion is a Crocs person.
I feel like he's like a fuzzy slipper sort of person.
I can imagine this as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Fuzzy slippers with a cup of tea
and a dressing gown. Yeah,
definitely.
Yep.
What are those? Those are my Crocs. I had Crocs when I was little, bright yellow ones. They were great.
It's quite cute.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, what if you have to stand up then? Like, that's the whole
Oh, was it
ensemble.
Tom Holland during lockdown posted a picture of a meeting apparently he did, which was just a suit and then his underwear, and everyone was like, "What? People do this?" And it's like, yes, people
I
do
know that
this.
it's a meme, but I feel like I would be the one
I'll
person to
be
stand up and
I'll
just
be the one who
flash.
stands up or goes to get something, forgets they have nothing on underneath,
Like,
and you're like,
that's.
oh, oops.
I don't want to break Twitch terms of services. I definitely don't want to do it accidentally. I think
Yeah.
that's worse.
It definitely is. Oh, oh, we've been going on, I think. I don't have fuzzy slippers. I get sore feet, so use a pair of Skechers, which is slightly
Fair.
too big. Oh, okay. I've got fluffy Converses. Well, not fluffy Converse. Inside fluffy, outside not fluffy.
Converse.
Yes. They're good in winter.
Yeah. No, I got fluffy slippers for Christmas, so I'm having a great time.
I do need slippers. I don't have slippers.
How do you recommend?
Yeah, I've heard the pros of slippers. Yeah.
Excellent.
This is how the stream ends, not with a bang, but
With a fizzle.
with a comment of
Slowly
slippers.
more and more awkward single word responses happening one after the other.
Yeah. I mean, we have been going on for 2 hours,
2.5
30
hours.
minutes, so
yeah.
I think that's a good length. That's definitely longer than a normal late night show, so we're doing it.
I just don't shut up.
Yeah. I don't know how American talk shows do it, because I mean, just they film it at 5 p.m. and then they air it at 11. But
yeah.
I just feel like there's just too much. Like, the interviews are always so depressing because they're so short. Like, they're only like 3 minutes or 2 minutes, because then they play an ad and you're like,
yeah,
just
boring.
Yeah.
They probably talk for like hours, but they cut it down to.
Yeah, they what I do like is they do get alcohol. They do get given drinks. I'm somewhat experienced inversion, not inversion, Roman. Oops.
Graham Norton's pretty great.
Yeah, he was like, one of the best interviews was he got interviewed by Stephen Colbert, and he was really unsure about what not to do, because the US have like no laws about advertising in an interview. And so he was like, wait, what? I can promote my book. I can mention I've written a book and that I like my book. And he's like, of course you can. He's like, well, I can't in the BBC because it would be considered. It was very funny.
Yeah. No, he's a good egg.
He is. His New Year Eve show is an interesting thing. He had Peter Dinklage on this year or last year.
Ah, interesting.
I always forget how Peter Dinklage sounds.
He's American, isn't he?
Is he?
Peter? Yeah. I still really like the Graham Norton show with when Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Henry Cavill were on it. That was a good one.
Oh yeah, he's from New Jersey. I can't do a New Jersey accent.
I'm not even going to pretend to attempt one.
I wish
get me to do a Welsh one.
I wish I could do all the American accents, because they're all so funny.
Yeah. Well, they're just are you Wheel of Time?
Mm-hmm.
TV show.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How far through the books have you read?
I've read the first book.
Okay. Just because there's a race of people in the Wheel of Time that are modelled off a Texan accent.
Oh, really?
And they talk about the drawl, and like the way that they describe the way they talk is very like, someone asked him like, is it supposed to be a Texan accent? And they were like, yeah.
Are
I really hope that
people, or is this about people we haven't met yet, or
you won't know?
Okay.
But yeah, so that I really want that to turn up in the show, because I feel like it will be such a juxtaposition from what people would expect. But yeah, that'll be good. Inversion's asking if you can say the word.
I've been staring at it and I've been like, how do I say this while Kat is talking about me all the time? And I'm like, limb fair, and that's all I can do. and now I know it's not Valles. It's oh, you emphasize the L, emphasize the end, or the middle, or the penultimate. I don't know.
In Welsh, you accent the last but one thing.
That's
So like Abergavenny is a good one to try and get a Welsh accent off. However, if you did want to say you would kind of just stay at one tone, because if you tried to put emphasis on any one bit, it'd be really confusing.
I mean, you got part of your answer there. And now I'm just trying to get the whole word there. Because I definitely will not be able to say the whole thing.
I can do the other one now as well, ish. One of the guys in my community was trying to get me to say the really long place name in New Zealand, and that's been like a fun project to try and learn. And I kind of want to pick up like the long iconic place names around the world.
Can you do?
I feel like that would be like a fun party trick.
Can you do the 2010 Icelandic volcano?
No.
Oh, that's a good one.
Not yet.
I'll
add it to the list.
Yeah, don't fuck with Iceland. They might not have cash, but they do have ash.
That's awful.
That was one of what you could get at the Icelandic tourist office, was those shirts. It's just I bought it for my brother.
Amazing.
It was great. I can't. Oh, where is it? Is this it? Maybe, possibly. No, I don't need to know how to find this Welsh village. I just need
You've got a what's it called?
Oh well, I've noticed the music stopped as well. I keep forgetting that.
We'll see. Yeah.
Music is not on repeat. Oh my gosh, just www. Oh my gosh, why? Doing that whole website address would be very, very long. Oh, this is the undisputable longest valid internet domain in the world. Apparently, as well. Oh.
That's amazing.
The image they've got now, which says the UK and then a square, which then zooms into the north of Wales, it does look like Wales is dabbing because of how long the place name is, of where it points.
Amazing. You gonna try and say it?
Okay, let's go. Will they help me? Who knows? Why have they got clip art? Oh. They've got welcome to the Welsh village with the insert clip art of longest place name in Britain. Okay. I feel like I'm very, I don't know, nervous.
I feel like you should have prepared for this, because everyone that's been on internet with me has tried to say it.
I know. I like the inspiration of Simon's. Which I like the aggressiveness.
It was an interesting choice. Invision did it pretty well. I was on his stream for Open TTD.
Yeah, and, I feel like he's got the I was gonna say
the Celtic roots.
Yeah, I was gonna say the odd accent, but it's
not go with Celtic roots.
Stay with.
It's not what you want to say.
No, because I've got the London accent, which skips consonants, so I'm losing consonants while you're adding consonants. It's like what should not be going on.
Yeah.
So.
Inversion, you did it very well.
No, his comment is about me.
I know.
Limfer på Gwengil go. Go.
Yeah, it's the bit in the middle, but like reasonable start. Excellent ending now. I give it like a 5.
How do you breathe? Like there's like
one big deep breath. Oh wait, do I? No, I don't breathe. Did you ever do the musical theatre thing where you just have to like hold one note for as long as possible?
I didn't sing. I was stage manager. I had people do that. I had people do it.
Well, you should have done the warm ups. It would have saved you in this moment.
Yeah, it really could have.
But you could like Llanfapwll Gwyngyll, go gerach yn drobwch, Llantysilio, go.
I feel like if I just add the breaths like in the middle, it just sound like someone's.
So that
really
would be like slam fire, go go go, and then people will get the gist.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
If one currently has cookie dough right now, should one? Yes, Cole. That's not a question. The question is whether one should eat the cookie dough raw or if the one should eat cookie dough cooked. That's the question.
Make cookies.
I agree.
Because who doesn't love cookies?
No, sad. Or cookie intolerant people. Maybe, possibly.
Bad.
I guess I think we should end it there before.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly an idea.
Possibly. Well, let me get Twitch up so I can check what is going on currently because I don't know what is going on currently. Okay, let's mute that.
Yeah. If people are around in 9.5 hours, there's another stream you should watch.
Who's that? Who is that stream, Kat? Tell us.
Oh, it's this like math nerd doing PhD work,
fantastic.
I guess.
Let's shout out this
one
person.
of the mods should shout me out.
I've done it.
You should definitely watch that one and not the weatherman one. To be fair, we're going all day, so
yeah. Let's see.
Holloway version has in-person lectures. How exciting!
Oh well, Kirsty's live. That's fun. She's doing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, cute.
Her first playthrough of it, and she's loving it. And she's briny adjacent, so.
Oh yeah, I love her.
She's great. Briny is also great. I love how Briny just likes to raid people every so often. It is nice. It's very sweet.
Yeah, I have raids from
yeah.
Raids from Briny quite right.
Yeah, I feel like I need to do the occasional 9 AM lecture. Not lecture. Stream just so I get the buns arriving.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
the trick is going for that like midday vibe. Cap, that's behave.
Actually, let's raid now. I know they're finishing,
let's go
but
see Kirsty.
let me.
Well, thank you for having me, Samwise.
Yeah, it's been very fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope chat has also thoroughly enjoyed this stream.
This.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Twitch. Let me raid. Oh my gosh, paste. Oh my gosh, why is it struggling? There we go. Next week I will tell you who will be my guest because Kat was supposed to. I guess Ed, possibly. Who knows?
Me again, bitches. I'm gonna do the exact same thing.
Yes,
we're gonna see if we can recite it from memory.
I was about to say we just play the VOD back. No. We have to watch our VOD and work out everything we said. Anyway, thank you for a fantastic stream, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it. And many things. I'm struggling to change scene right now. Because
all of the things.
There we go. Au revoir, goodbye. Thank you. Join Discord if you haven't. It was great. Thank you. Bye. There we go.